Yo, what is up, everybody? Shout out to the Anime Night crew. I know you guys I know you guys are really doing a great job building up the channel, man. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being on Anime Heads, wherever you might be watching this. As you guys know, we simulcast this for the Anime Heads channel as well as the DA's channel. I want to thank everybody for chilling with us tonight. We had to move the date because I had stuff going down on Wednesday that I could not get out of. So we had to move it to Friday. And honestly, we'll see how it goes. Friday might return back to the normal time. It just really depends because I think next week I'm also going to have to move it to Friday. Fridays, I don't know. I'm curious as to what you guys think. Is Friday a better night than Wednesday night? Because I was looking at the numbers and I noticed that from a numbers standpoint, we got more viewership on Fridays than Wednesdays. Although I do believe that it is easier for everybody on the panel to make it on Wednesdays, I think, so I'm not sure, because Friday nights, a lot of people hanging out, going places, chilling with their friends. Like right now, Name is hanging out with friends. So he'll be a little late or he'll be running a little late. So it was for things like that. That was like, and then sometimes I got stuff to do on Fridays. Although this past week was a Wednesday type of situation. So I don't know. We'll have to mess around with it and see and try to find the sweet spot. I know eventually my son wants to do a stream, and I think he said he wanted to do the Friday night streams. So it might, ended up being me on Wednesday and him on Friday anyway, but we'll see how it goes. Shout out to everybody, though. Thank you very much for being here. You guys are absolutely 1000% awesome, man. I appreciate it. Okay, so Fallen Link says Friday works for me since I don't work on the weekends. Thomas Nazareta, what's up? I prefer Fridays, DA, because it's the last day before the weekend. Yeah, Napsky says Friday works. I might have to tell my son, hey, man, until you get yours cracking, I'm going to keep the Fridays. But yeah, I noticed that when I was looking at the viewership on the videos, it seems like more people hang out on Fridays. There are more people here on Fridays than there are on Wednesdays. Even though I think for the panel, for most panelists, it works out best to have it on Wednesday, so we'll have to figure it out. By the way, what is this about JJK in New York City? I'll show you. Okay. It's not a big deal, but it's something I thought was really, really interesting. So we'll check it out. All right. We also got to talk about Kadokawa. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but there's a little bit of a hostile takeover bid going on right now at Kadokawa, and that could be, a major shift in anime. I'm telling you, right now, everybody is trying to change the game. They're trying to get their fingers in with anime wherever they can. There are people everywhere. We talk about Netflix all the time, okay? And I got another story talking about how, essentially there's an opportunity right now because China is trying to just backing out and saying, you know what? We got to censor so much of y'all anime, we don't even want it. And so it's an interesting, situation going on right now. Netflix is trying to get their hands in the mix. Okay. You still got Crunchyroll dominating a lot of the big major, titles and everything. We'll talk a little bit about what Crunchyroll did for this month. And then you got Netflix, and now you got Kadokawa. So Kadokawa is thinking about, what's our future? And their biggest shareholder is trying to run a Nelson Peltz. You guys remember Nelson Peltz? All right, Nelson Peltz, who tried to do the takeover of Disney. Same thing's going on over there at Kadokawa. It's really, really interesting. Last year, I don't usually work 12-hour shifts on Fridays, but honestly, I stay up more than I should. So we'll still watch when I have my 12 hours. Okay. Wednesday is okay too, whatever works for you, DA. And like I said, man, for me, I want to find the right mix for everybody involved. What's the sweet spot? What's the sweet spot for us to do this particular show? And then that's when we'll do it. Okay. So yeah, it's an interesting time for anime, man. But yeah, we got some cats. We got one person hanging out in the back, Stacy Gardner. We'll bring him on in just a minute. First things first, let me go ahead and say what's up to the people in the chat. Thank you all for being here. Let's see who's here. We got Fallen Angel, Georgie Girl. What's up, Georgie Girl? Joe Jimenez is in the house. Lasher is also in the house. Napsky also here. Stacy Gardner, Stephanie Napolitan, and Thomas Nazareta. Anybody over there on Anime Night or Anime Heads? All right, I see Cosgrove. I see you over there on Anime Heads. So thanks for being over there, brother. We appreciate it. So yeah, again, I'm trying to find a good way to really just unite these two channels for the anime, when we start our anime push, once Anime Heads is monetized, we're gonna go up. We're gonna do a lot on this channel. And so if you're watching, it really helps. It really helps to watch it over on Anime Heads, even though there's not that many people over there. But we're gonna get that at some point in time. I'm just gonna say, all right, it's all on Anime Heads. You got to be subscribed. You got to go and watch it. All right, and then we can, turn it up and get live over there. So thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it. Oh, we did get one gifted membership from who else? Ruby Hoove. Shout out to Ruby Hoove. You guys know that's my girl. Always supporting. All right. And that's why she has her own emoji that I'm about to drop in the chat right now. Thank you very much, Ruby Hoove, for the gifted. Thanks for the support. You know what? Since we at it, let me go ahead and drop a little bit of my own, man. So, yeah, got it. All right, so I'm gonna get 5 gifteds right now as well. So that's a total of 6 new members. All right, 6 new members of the DA's channel. And thanks to all those who watch. If you got a gifted membership, all right, thank you. And I hope you enjoy the content. Don't forget, you can watch the nightcaps after they go dark. We got member videos up. You also got access to all the emojis. You got a gifted, a free member chat. All right, every single month you get 1 free member chat, so make sure you use it to say what you want to say to me, and I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Yeah, let's get on with the show, man. Let me bring on the homie Stacy Gardner. What is up, brother?
What's up? Not much, man. Just
go ahead.
I mean, I'm just tired. I'm tired. I'm ready to watch some anime. I'm ready to talk. Let's get to it, man.
Yeah. It's been kind of a quiet week. Not a lot of big news happened, but that Kadokawa, that's a big title. That's a big situation that we got to discuss.
Oh yeah.
But then there's another one involving AnimeKai, which actually was last week's news. But since we didn't do our show last on Wednesday, it's kind of over a week behind, but we'll discuss that as well. Another pirate site going down. This time it's not a DMCA takedown. It's not a DMCA takedown, okay? Digital marketing copyright. It's not based on copyrights. They're one of their servers caught fire. And it just torched the whole thing. So yeah, but AnimeKai was huge, man. That was a big. That's one that I even heard of. I hadn't heard a lot of pirate sites. That was one of the big ones. And so that one going down, that's going to be a heavy blow for sure. All right. Yeah. Yikes. Exactly. Fallen Angel. Yikes. Yeah. That one went down. So, all right, but let's get to it, man. We got a lot of different topics. Normally when everybody's here, this is a much more interesting topic, but we got to start the way we got to start. So I appreciate everybody, understanding, we don't have a lot here. Names should be coming along in a minute. The chat or the invite is out there for Angel, for Cyfax, or for Brandon to join us. But let's just start off with what's currently hot right now. The top 10 anime of the week. All right. That's the week from week 6, from May 9 to May 16. ReZero number 1. Listen, man, ReZero is phenomenal. Okay.
Something told me ReZero would not be dropping anywhere below 3 until basically it ends. So I'm not surprised at its current spot.
Yeah, it is doing phenomenal work, and I didn't think it would be as good. I didn't think it would be as good as it is, but it's really good. Witch Hat Atelier is number 2. Agent of the 4 Seasons jumped 10 spots. I've never heard of this. Have you heard of this? Agents of the 4 Seasons.
No, that's new to me.
Yeah. That thing shot up 10 spots from 13 all the way up to 3. So there it is. I'm gonna zoom in on this because these numbers are kind of hard to read. Hold on, let me just zoom in on this a little bit. So Agents of the 4 Seasons from rank 13. I don't know. I got to check it out because apparently this thing is a banger. I mean, to jump up that high in 1 week, I'll check it out and see what it is. But there's that Marriage Toxin. I like Marriage Toxin, man. Marriage Toxin is a ton of fun, man. It is absolutely. It's a weird one, but it's a fun one. Okay. And I'm enjoying every week. I'm surprised it was down at number 11, but I hadn't checked last week's rankings. We didn't do a ranking last week, so I didn't check it. So I'm sorry. I
Right.
was kind of surprised that it was this, like, damn, this thing was 11. That was pretty low, but it's a banger, man. It's really good. I highly recommend Marriage Toxin. I think we're on episode, because I was just rewatching the last episode. It was episode 5.
Okay.
So episode 5. Oh no, episode 6. Episode 6 just dropped. All right, just dropped this past week. So I haven't seen episode 6 yet.
Right.
But yeah, it is fire. Okay, guys, check it out if you have the opportunity. Number 5, I know Name has been watching this one. I made friends with the prettiest girl in my class. All right, it jumped one spot now at number 6. And I think Name is really enjoying that. He says it's pretty damn good, so that's nice. All right, Wisteria Wand and Sword season 2 dropped all the way down to number 6. It was number 1. That one's doing well. It's a good. I haven't watched it, but it's been doing really well for me in fantasy anime.
I mean,
That's one of my choices. What's up?
that's a prime fantasy anime right now. I don't think anything's gonna really do too much better than that right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's anything outside of what else is out there, right? You do have Demons of the Shadow Realm. We'll get to that one. That one dropped. But I think that, in terms of a fantasy, like just high fantasy, yeah, Wisteria, Wand, and Sword, that's probably where everybody's watching this year or this season. So yeah, it dropped, but not that far where it dropped out of the rankings. So I think it's just because some of these other ones just got boosted up. ReZero, Ages of the Four Seasons, especially Marriage Toxin, all of these other ones just boosted up past it, which
Yeah,
is very interesting.
yeah, especially like you said, that Agent of the Four Seasons. I'm like 10 spots. I'm sorry. Jumping 3 to 4 spots on a ranking list is actually pretty good. When you jump 10, you are doing something right.
I want to see what this week's episode was about now. I don't, or maybe it
Sheesh.
was. You know what happens though sometimes is that people just catch it, like, okay, people have been telling me to watch it, and then all of a sudden everybody watches it and they get caught up and they're like, wow, I've been sleeping on this one. And now all of a sudden it's getting ranked higher and higher and higher, and it jumps all the way up to the number 3 spot. So, it is what it is. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. Demons of the Shadow Realm. My son is reviewing this along with my nephew on the channel right now. Episode 6 was a total banger. All right, amazing episode, that last one. If you're not watching Demons of the Shadow Realm and you like the shit that I like, you do yourself a favor. All right, don't cheat yourself. Treat yourself. Watch Demons of the Shadow Realm. It's dope. It's awesome. You'll love it. And then go watch our review or our walk. What is it? The reaction. Go watch our reaction videos. Because I think my son is, I told him to watch it and he was kind of like skeptical. And now it's like, hey, when is the next one coming out? I says it come out on Saturday. All right. He's dropping. So the next episode will drop tomorrow. But yeah, really, really good shit. Classroom of the Elite season 4 fell one spot to number 8. I haven't watched any. I've watched the first season of this and I think a couple of episodes of the second season. Classroom of the Elite's fine. It's just not for me. But I think the fans of it enjoy it.
That's how I am. I'm like, if you like it, go for it. I can't watch it because of the fact that, like, I'm sitting there going, okay, who's about to stab who in the back this week? I'm like, if I would, I'm like, wow. I'm like, do any of these people know anything about the word trust? Like,
no.
I kind of fear for them being in the real world, and it's not them; it's everybody else.
It's just a bunch of backstabbing little kids. Yep, that's exactly what it is, man. And you know what? Like I said, the first season, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fine.
The first season was the mousetrap, man. It was supposed to lure you in. Then when you start seeing, you read the manga or the light novels, you're like, I'm surprised these kids ain't having a knife behind their backs. Like, God damn.
I look, I said, man, I think it's fine. It's just not my necessary cup of tea. But if you like that kind of stuff, have at it, and I might, eventually get down to it, somewhere down the road. One Punch Man token fan. I butchered your name right there, bro. I said One Munch Pan. Like, wait, what? One Munch? What you munching? Shout out One Punch Man token fan. Hail to the chat. Thanks, bro, for making it, man. Appreciate you. And then we get to Gals Can't Be Kind to Otaku. Apparently,
I've
know
heard
something about that one.
I've heard of this. It's among those types of series where like the females are supposed to be like prim proper, like high class ladies or whatever, but they actually are really down to earth and they actually love some of the stuff. Like for example, a friend of mine told me about this series. It's not too long ago just got like an announcement of an anime. It's called High Score Girl, or I think it's High Score Girl, or Ladies Do Not Play Fighting Games. And like a friend of mine put me on that. I was like, are you serious? I was like, I can't believe this.
Okay.
And
sorry guys, I'm trying to open this water and I spilled it.
Oh, DA, come on. But it's kind of like in that category. So I'd be willing to check that out.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I guess it's doing all right. Still in the top 10. It was up from number 10 last week, jumped one spot to number 9. And then Ramparts of Ice jumped up 2 spots to number 12. So that's all based on the votes from the people who voted on this on Anime Corner. So there you go. All right. So your top 10 right now in the anime for the week of the week 6 rankings. And honestly, man, I just showed just to kind of talk about each anime that's coming out. But there's some anime, like I said, I'm still watching Liar Game. I really enjoy Liar Game. That's a lot to me. I can watch seasons upon season. I wish I could binge watch like everything they're about to drop on this, because this story is really, really interesting. The characters are good. And I know this is an adaptation that has been adapted multiple times, but I'm really liking what they're doing with this adaptation. I enjoy it. But it's not being ranked it's not being ranked very high. When I look at some of the, reviews and people talking about it, they don't seem to like it very much. I'm digging it. All right. I really enjoy Liar Game. So to each their own, right? Everything ain't for everybody. So, yep, there you go. All right, guys. Thank you very much. One Punch Man token fan. Wish I had some Wendy's to munch on. Hey, look, man. Don't bring up Wendy's, man. I'm trying to be good. Okay. You start bringing up Wendy's, man. I'm going to start getting the old Grubhub app out and start ordering Wendy's, man. I'm trying not to eat Wendy's, man. I'm trying. I'm like 2 weeks sober right now from Wendy's. So, root for me. All right.
He's going cold turkey, folks. He's going cold turkey.
It's not easy, man. It's the Frosties, Stace. It's the Frosties, bro. I love the damn Frosties, man.
Welcome to the club, man. Every time, like, here's the thing. I get Wendy's at least once a week. And when I do, I'll tell you guys right now, so you know my order. I get a Baconator double patty, and I get I usually would get a caramel swirl Frosty. Right?
That sounds
I didn't do that this week. I got my normal I got my normal Baconator, but I got a chocolate chip cookie dough Frosty. I was like,
nice.
Wait, what? Cookie dough? Let me pull in real quick.
Yo, man, the Frosties, they just do it for me. I don't know what it is, man. What about Hardee's Steak and Shake and Bojangles? I don't even know if do we have a Steak and Shake out here? I haven't seen a Steak and Shake in Cali I know we used to have one, but I haven't seen one in quite a few years. I think they all closed up. Like Steak and Shake was something back east. They tried it in Cali, and people it's like anything else. People was going to it and checking it out for like the first 2 or 3 months. But then slowly but surely, once the novelty wore off, everybody just kind of was like, yeah, it's not really for us, because the shakes was really good. But, I don't think anybody was really eating the food that much. And so it just kind of died out, but it is what it is. Yeah, no, Budgie Cat, no real Steak and Shake action out here.
Yeah.
We don't really get a lot of that.
I I actually got to watch Demons of the Shadow Realm. I gotta do an hour of that tomorrow because I did not see last Saturday's episode, and I have a good reason for it.
Stacy's got a reveal, man. He did something. All right, bro. Let's see it. What do you got? Let's show it. What?
Yep, I went and seen Mortal Kombat 2 last week. And I actually have to admit, DA, you were right. It's kind of like a good movie. I had to turn my mind off at points, but the fights were really good.
That's dope, man. So what's that? The cup?
No.
Whoa, careful. Is that the popcorn bucket?
Yeah, it's the popcorn bucket, but here's the thing. The topper is actually Shao Kahn's helmet.
I see that. That's clean, man.
Here's the best.
That's clean. Very nice.
And as
Very
you can tell,
nice.
if you can look inside.
Turn it the other way?
Yeah, and that's what I'm going to try to do. See if you can.
Flawless victory. Very cool. Very nice. Nice. Yeah, Mortal Kombat was all right. I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's, to me, it's like a 6 out of 10 type of movie. You can enjoy it. Turn your brain off. Don't think too hard about the story. Just enjoy the fights and the fatalities. You'll be fine. I saw that Henry Cavill movie also, In the Gray. I know this is anime nights, but I just want to get this out. In the Gray with Jake Gyllenhaal and Henry Cavill and Isaac Gonzalez. Again, much in the same vein as Mortal Kombat. It's mindless fun. Turn your brain off. Leave it at the door. You'll be fine. It's not a there's a story there, but the story you really don't care about. You're really not interested in the story. It's more about characters and their interactions with each other. And then they have a long action set piece. That's it. So, yeah, I think it was, fine. I want to go see Obsession. And I'm probably going to go see Obsession tomorrow. Obsession is a nice looking horror movie. That one looks good. So I'm probably going to check that one out.
Right.
Tomorrow. Yeah. All right. Let's move on. Thank you guys for your patience.
Understandable.
Here is, look, we know that Crunchyroll and everybody can feel any way they want to feel about Crunchyroll, but they are a mainstay in the anime world right now, and that's because they've kind of captured a lot of the marketplace, especially here in the United States, along with around the world, all right? And they created their own little anime award show, which will be coming up next weekend, all right? On Saturday, the Crunchyroll Anime Awards. And what we'll do is we'll probably go live, not watch it, not stream it, but we will go live here. And everybody's invited to come through. We'll have we'll have our own little, kind of Oscars party. But we'll see who wins, and we'll go live and we'll just stream it. I think it starts at 7 p.m. Next week, 7 p.m. my time. So I'm not sure what time, because it's in Japan, right? The awards take place in Japan. And so I don't know what time that is in Japan, but it's going to be about 7 p.m. here in the States.
So
in LA.
7 p.m. that'd be 10 o'clock me.
Okay, got you. Yeah, so we'll go live. We'll see who wins. We'll talk it up, chop it up, have a good time, catch every winner, and then, see what else they got. So that'll be next week on Saturday. However, Crunchyroll also did something probably to get more and more people to watch anime. They got Anime, M-A-Y, all right? They always do that. Well, Crunchyroll has now offered a amazing discount, in my opinion, for over 35 countries. So if you don't have Crunchyroll, if you always wanted Crunchyroll, hey, for $1.99 a month for the next 3 months, okay? So that's May, June, and into July. You got the US 3-month tier for $1.99 for the fan tier, and then for the mega fan tier, $2.99. That just gets you more like what is it? I think mega fan, it just gets you like additional channel, like instead of one person can watch, 2 households can watch, or 2 different logins and stuff like that. You got that. Plus, I think you can read a little manga as well.
Actually, if I'm right, you can do all that, but if you also go to their site, which I will say this as so far the only upside recently from Crunchyroll If you order something from them, they will get it out. Like if you're a mega fan, they will get it out there to you
Oh, okay.
ASAP. But if you order something from them and they don't have it, they will issue you a refund and send you email saying, "Hey, watch your stuff. We're sending you a refund." Because
Gotcha. Okay, so that helps with the store. Like I don't
Yeah.
order anything on Crunchyroll. I haven't ordered anything ever on Crunchyroll, I don't think.
I
But if you do, have
it'll
you
try to
ordered
get
stuff
you out
from
the
them?
door. Actually, yes, I did order a series called Backstabbed in a Backwater Dungeon, and I ordered a few volumes of manga from it. The thing was, they only had half of my order. They didn't have the other half, so they said, "Here, we'll just give you your refund. That way, you ain't got to wait on back ordered stuff."
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay, so look, here is let me share this real quick. So this is the membership thing that I got. All right. So I'm a mega fan, so I got the mega. You can stream on a total of 4 devices at a time. You got access to the Crunchyroll Game Vault. Let me see what other benefits. Okay, that's what you're talking about. Crunchyroll store deals, 10% off of products, members only offers, and early access to sales, free US shipping, $50, ads, free stream. This is the one that matters to me. I don't want ads.
Yeah, neither
All
do
right.
I.
And then downloading all the videos. So it's like if I go on trips, when I go on a trip, anytime I go anywhere, I download a whole bunch of stuff off of Crunchyroll. That's pretty much what I watch. So like when I went to Japan last year, what was I watching? I think I downloaded like an entire season. Oh, I was watching oh my god, what is the name of that? What's the name of the guy? Shit, man, I can't remember it. I'll think of it. It'll come to me later. But I just downloaded a whole season and watched it all the way to Japan. It's a 10-hour flight. All right, so you could knock out an entire season or more than one season of an anime. Honestly, depending on how long it is. So that's basically what I do, and that's why I have Crunchyroll, because it gives me these types of benefits. And yeah, I do travel. So because I travel, I like to have like stuff downloaded to watch. So this is a good deal in my opinion. Like if you're a anime guy and say, hey man, I need some stuff to watch. I watch a lot of anime. Crunchyroll has way more anime than most other pay services. And if you don't feel like pirating everything, I think $1.99 a month is a good deal. I know a lot of folks don't watch or don't like Crunchyroll, and I don't blame you. But it works for me. I don't trust Crunchyroll. They can be fishy. Yes, they can.
Agreed.
Right.
Agreed. But I got to agree with you on what you did, on what you said about downloading, because back when Funimation was a thing, I actually downloaded all 4 seasons of High School DxD and basically marathon half of the series on my way to Murfreesboro, Tennessee with my family.
See?
So yeah, and here's the thing. My brother was watching over my shoulder. My older brother was watching over my shoulder, and he was like,
"What are you watching?"
Actually, that's not what he said. He looked at me.
Really?
He's like, "Yeah." He looked at me. He's like, "Oh, what? You're watching something you wish your life was." I was like, "I hate you."
Why bro gonna play you like that? That's messed up. It was Shangri-La Frontier. That was the one I had downloaded. Shangri-La Frontier. I watched it.
I've heard of that. That is like literally so good.
It's good, man. It's good. Watch it when you have the opportunity, if you have not.
I will. He rubbed it in my face because in the winter of that year, I actually went to an anime convention called OhioCon with a commissioned gauntlet of Issei's dragon armor. And everybody was like, holy shit, it's Issei. And I'm like, that kind of fit. And then, like I said, come that trip to Murfreesboro, Tennessee, my brother's looking at me like, what could have been? I'm like, I hate you.
Your brother ain't right, man.
Oh, I know.
All right, look, we also got a member chat that came through from DK Bones, member for 18 months. Hello, everyone. Stay blessed. DK, invite for tomorrow, Sunday, if you're down. Feel free to drop by. I'll shoot it over to you. I know you had some stuff going down last week. If you want to come on this week, you're more than welcome. I'll shoot the invite to you. All right. So yeah, DK Bones might be joining us on Sunday for the DA's office. Okay.
Nice.
Look, Crunt, I wake up, it's anime morning. I don't have much anime, so I'm gonna put on Street Fighter on. Street Fighter anime is good, man.
I actually
It's
agree with that because I actually
yeah.
have the 1990s the 95 anime series that was based off the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have the original Street Fighter 2 animated movie.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing in case you haven't seen this. There was an anime series of Street Fighter called Street Fighter 2V, and that was a different take on the whole damn thing. The thing was it started out with Ryu and Ken basically after their 10 years of training. Ryu was
Yeah.
working as part of like a lumber company in Japan, and Ken was basically off in America. He gets a message. Ryu gets a message from Ken, and they actually go on a worldwide tour of training. They actually met Chun-Li in China when she was 17.
I think I've seen that. It sounds familiar. I think I've seen that.
It's real good. Like the first 5 episodes, Guile hands both of them their butts on silver platters. He hands Ryu his butt in a bar, and Ken goes to an Air Force base to fight him the next day. And Guile's like, okay, yeah, go join your friend in the infirmary real quick.
Sick, man. Question for the chat: is Akira anime? Oh, of course it is, man.
Yes.
100% it's anime. No question at all about it. Crunt, you must be new to the game, man. Yeah, it's absolutely anime, no question. Also, what is the difference between anime and manga? Okay, so anime is anime. So it's like, what's the difference? Think about it: cartoon, comic book. All right. So imagine a comic book that's manga. All right. And you got an artist, they drew characters, they created storylines, all of that stuff in the comics, and then it's adapted into a cartoon, an animated cartoon. That's the difference. All right. So manga is where a lot of anime got their roots. All right. They all started with a mangaka, which is essentially like a comic illustrator / storyteller. Because usually it's all in the same. It's not like one person, like in American comics, you got an artist, somebody that draws them, but then you got a writer, right? Somebody wrote it, somebody else drew it. Well, the mangakas, it's all in one, same guy, all right? He drew it and he wrote it. So that's what you got. And then on top of that, not always, but usually that's the case. But then the anime gets adapted, from the manga. And there you go. So that's basically the difference for those that, might be new to anime. I'm not trying to, shit on Crunt. I'm laughing. I'm just kind of, he's like, Akira is anime? Like, hell yeah, it's anime. But
there are a few times where the anime will jump ahead of the manga and spoil the ending. And I'm dead
yet to run into that. I have yet to run into that, but I have heard of that.
I'll give you 2 right now. The original Full Metal Alchemist, they actually had to change the ending of the series.
Oh, wow.
Because
really,
if you actually, I think it's a couple episodes into Brotherhood, but if you actually watch it, there's a key point where the story actually diverged from like in the original series, and Brotherhood is actually the original manga. Now the other one, the creator behind that even said, I was not finished with the manga by the time the anime finished. And when that one ended, he literally was like, that was the ending I was going for. It's called Akame ga Kill. That one actually got ahead of the manga before it finished.
I've heard of that one. So and that one got ahead as well. Yeah. That's crazy, man. That's crazy shit. All right, cool. Oh yeah, one more. DA watch Blue Comet SPT Lasner and Metal Armor Dragonor. Okay, I'll put it on the list. My list is just growing and growing, and I'm not even cutting into it yet.
You're not the only one. I'm kind of interested in this Metal Armor Dragonor. I'm kind of interested in that one.
Mangaka is a pause. What up, T? Why is that a pause?
I think it's the way it pronounces to him. Oh, speaking of T, he brought up earlier in the chat about why Ryu was called Ryu. Here's the funny thing, and this is actually something that people actually found out. Nobody ever played versus on arcade machines with Ryu. Whenever you played a versus game of Street Fighter 2, you would always hear the name of the character. They would go, Ken wins, Guile wins, Chun-Li wins. Nobody in a versus situation picked Ryu. That's why for so long, everyone thought it was Ryu after the 95 movie came out.
Yep. Stacy has his deets, man. I like it. Gotcha. All good. I needed the details. Don't worry, Crunch, man. That's what we're here for, man. Each one teach one. We're here to support. All right. Let's talk about this, man. Bad news all the way around. And thank you, everybody. Make sure you smash the like button. 32 cats in the chat. All right. We appreciate it. Hit that like button as we take on the next topic. Notorious piracy streaming site AnimeKai will be shutting down, with the developer ending the project following the data center catching on fire. Sorry, our data center has been burned. We're no longer able to provide the file hosting service. This is devastating. I mean, the outcry was like the planet Alderaan exploded. Suddenly, the millions of voices cried out and then were silenced, man. AnimeKai was one I had heard of. Okay, I had heard of this one, and I don't really pirate that much, but I knew of AnimeKai. Okay, that's how it is, and this was a devastating blow. I'm Stacy. I was hoping Name would be on here, and we might, if Name comes through, we'll circle back to it. He's supposed to be joining us a little bit later, but bruh, this is a big loss, man. It's a huge loss in that space, man. I had saw this article that it came up on CBR. Whoa, AnimeKai shutting down is officially the end of an era for anime streaming in 2026. We're seeing more and more. And look, this wasn't a DMCA takedown. This was just the server caught on fire, the data center caught on fire, and now when you go there, it just everything is just like you could go there and the site is still there and all of the stuff is still there, but you click the links and it's like nothing. Sorry, nope, can't do it. Nope. No, nothing works over there anymore. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on it, man? It's absolutely a devastating blow for anime fans all over.
Yeah, it is. And I've actually heard, like, I've never went there, but I've heard a lot of good things about this site. Now, from what I've heard, they were actually going to try and go legit, but they knew the whole route with that. But to hear this, yeah, dude, talk about being dealt the Joker.
Yeah, big time, man. Yep, very sad news. Yeah, the bad part about it is that, like I said before, anytime we talk about piracy, a lot of stuff that they had is just not available anywhere else. Like there's shows and stuff that you might want to watch, and it's not on Crunchyroll, it's not on High Dive, and it's really not anywhere else legally. So you got to go to one of these sites if you want to watch it. They were very good on their dubs. If you were, it's like I like the subtitles, but even those have localization attached to it, of course. So, but they were really good. I thought their subs were their dubs were really good. And the few times that I've watched it, they did a really good job, man. And it's sad to see that these cats are gone. Look, Randy is saying it's a conspiracy. Say, shit, something went down, man. Somebody over there at Crunchyroll and Netflix says, yeah, man, give me the matches. Give me the matches, man. We're gonna get these guys up out the way. Now everybody, and then as soon as and then the next week, right? It's like, hey, Crunchyroll's on sale, ladies and gentlemen. Come on over. Oh, you guys lost AnimeKai. I'm so sorry. Hey, come on over here to Crunchyroll. Hey, look, man, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. That's conspiracy.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't be shocked if that's how it went down, man. But yeah, look, I'm going to read through this, man. I'm going to read through this just real quick. The landscape of online anime consumption has shifted permanently, marking the definitive end of an era for the fandom. For over a decade, a vast network of unofficial platforms provided millions of global viewers with unfettered access to animation history. However, a relentless wave of industry crackdowns and major incidents have systematically dismantled these digital sanctuaries. The final catastrophic blow came with the abrupt and permanent destruction of AnimeKai. Already reeling from corporate lawsuits, the site server infrastructure was entirely wiped out by a devastating data center fire, which was reported by the site itself. This sudden loss effectively erased one of the last major reliable alternatives to mainstream corporate monopolies, leaving many fans and series without a home. So, I mean, like you said, it was one of the, like they call it here, one of the last alternatives to Crunchyroll. All right. So it's devastating. There's no question at all about it, man. I don't know how. And look, we always say when one falls, another one pops up in its place. But when the data center burns, kind of hard to pop up in its place when all your data is just wiped out.
Yeah,
you know, it's kind of difficult to do that, man. So yeah, it is sad and it is unfortunate. And you know, I don't know what happens next, you know, because now it seems like they're chasing the pirates down. The piracy sites are getting chased down everywhere. You know, DMCA takedowns, you know, and lawsuits and everything else up under the sun. You're seeing all of that action, like the article mentioned. So it's risky business on top of that. But then when the data burns, all right, when the data center is burnt up and goes up in smoke,
there goes everything.
Yeah. You know, so I don't know how you recover from this. It's not like you could just replace it because all the stuff is gone. So it's really sad. All that hard work, man. These guys work hard, man. I like I said, I don't do the piracy myself, but I recognize that people are working hard to try to deliver a good to the community. All right. Trying to deliver something good for the community. And for it to go down, it's just a tragic, tragic loss. Will they come back? Will they try to return in some form or fashion? Will they try to rebuild from the literal ashes? That I don't know. You know, I wouldn't mind
just have
seeing
to wait
it though.
and see on that. Same.
Yep.
But like I was just gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Hopefully, something new pops up.
Yep. Yep. And I think at the end of the day, some of these sites that needed to go legit, like AnimeKai, I think they were trying to go legit. I think eventually that is going to be the case. We're going to get more competition. It's not just going to be Crunchyroll. It's not just going to be Netflix and High Dive and a handful of other legit sites. People are going to start catching on because anime is going global. It's getting bigger.
Yep.
And what we really need are options and choices. It can't just be down to 3 or 4. There needs to be like 10 like streamers out there that are focused and dedicated on anime, not just, okay, we got an anime column over here and, you know, you can watch anime. It's like a little side. Nah, you need like a full-fledged, somebody's got to compete with Crunchyroll. I think that's the next step. As soon as you get like maybe High Dive increases, you know, like what they're doing and steps it up. Like I always keep my eye on High Dive because they're starting to do a lot better with some of their subs and dubs. Stuff's getting out a little faster. So I'm like, okay, good. Keep going High Dive because Crunchyroll needs competitive or competition.
Somebody needs to light that fire under Crunchyroll's ass because, oh my god, some of their stuff like it's good, but other than that, I'm like, yeah, no, they need to look at some of the people who they hire for dubs and casts. Yeah, no, you got to go. You got to go.
Yeah, look, Anime Updates had shared this, man. This was like all of the sites that had been taken down. All right. Hi Anime, Go Anime, AniWatch, Zoro, MangaDex, Comic K, like a lot of sites. All right. That people went to. This was the go-to. All right. This was the go-to, and they're all gone. And now AnimeKai joins the list.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad, man. It's not good. This is not a good thing for the fans, in my opinion. But it might work out for Crunchyroll, you know, if they can get people to sign up for $1.99, man. Who knows?
Yeah.
An anime pirate site also went down, but which one? There's so many of them out there, man. Every day you hear a rumor that something's going down. Oh, it just went down. This one, it's like, did it? And then you check and it's still up. You know, it's interesting time, man. Interesting time. But anyway, yep, it does stink, Joel. All right, we need anime company to respect fans and the employees 100%. We're going to talk about Kadokawa in a minute. And I don't know how people will feel about them respecting the employees because it doesn't sound like they have everything lined up and there's a hostile takeover bid. So they got some problems. But look, here's another studio that's got some issues. All right, this is the Wada Mote Anime Studio. Silverlink sees financial losses for the third consecutive year despite revenue growth. All right, so they're growing in revenue, but apparently expenses are outweighing the revenues, and they're losing money. And again, this goes back to what we talked about when it was Studio Kai. Remember Studio Kai? Same exact thing. They were becoming insolvent. All right, they had to file for, what was it? They had filed for basically they can't pay their damn bills. Essentially, was what it is.
Yeah.
So same exact thing. And you would think with anime growing the way that it's growing, Stacy, that everybody would be making money. But as you can see, there are some, there are a lot of studios that are, hey man, we're making anime, we're growing in revenue, but we're still losing money.
Which makes me ask the question, who's watching the money? Because at this point, with the right anime, you can just put one episode out and make some merchandise off of that. You'll just be turning that that money machine on, and it just just keep making money for you. So if you're an anime company, you make like some very good animes that people still talk about, like let's say 5 years, 7 years, 10 years after the series ends, and you're going out, you're basically going under. You got to look at what you're doing. It's like what a YouTuber by the name of Patrick Bet David said. You need to look at your OpEx report and then see where money is going out and where can money come in at. And if they're not in the right spots, you may need to look at some of the stuff you're doing and say, yeah, I got to change some stuff here and there.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, hey, where are we going wrong? We got to, stop what we're doing because we're about to ruin the image and the style that we used to, right? You got to switch it up a little bit, change it up, try something different. But yeah, I have never heard of these titles. All right. So it said, let me zoom in on that a little bit. Studio Silverlink, known for titles like Strike the Blood, Nan Nan Biori, and Watamote. Never heard of any of them. All right. They apparently were growing in money. Have you heard of them?
I've heard of Watamote. It's basically like the character right there is actually from the series. It's actually about a young girl who wants to be popular. But the thing is, like, some of the people who she interacts with basically makes her look bad to where she's like, yeah, I'm not popular. Because if you actually look at the subtitle under the Watamote, it actually says, no matter how I look at it, it's you guys' fault I'm not popular. It's probably,
okay.
Yeah, it's...
All right. So it sounds like a comedy. It's like a comedy, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen a good number of episodes of it. It's comedy.
Okay. Like I said, man, I've never heard of it, but it's not, I don't need to hear of it. It's apparently, doing well enough where, again, they were growing, revenue was growing, everything was going well. But then again, and I always say it circles right back around to that conversation of, okay, are these guys all getting paid? Why are they not making the money? Is it merchandise? Like where's the missing link?
Yeah.
When you have an anime production company making, anime that people are mostly watching, and it's not a huge amount of money. Don't get it twisted. 1.71 or 271, sorry, a million yen, which is roughly $1.7 million. But that's still a loss. All right. That's still a loss. All right. It says here, while the loss hasn't widened significantly compared to the previous fiscal year, this marks the studio's third consecutive year of losses. And, a lot of these companies, they can survive, a few years in a row of losing money as long as the other vitals of the company are doing well. But what happens is if one of those other little pieces falls off, they're usually going to have to close up shop because they're not making money. And now, the metrics are not looking right. So we'll have to keep our eye on it. But I never heard of the studio Silverlink. I never heard of anything that they made. So maybe that's the problem. Maybe they need to get a flagship anime under their title belt, like, hey man, get something big, adapt a huge, like you might have to bid for one of the top tier mangas that everybody's talking about. You might have to throw your hat in the ring and go for something big and then knock that one out the park. And then maybe that's what's going to get this studio off the mat.
That could possibly help because with the right anime, you can go for like 10, 12 years, especially if it becomes one of the big ones. Because I mean, I forgot who basically had it, but Naruto basically paid for a company. Bleach paid for a company. You had My Hero Academia pay for Bones. That's actually a good series. That is actually a funny series.
Hokkaido girls are super adorable.
Yeah, I'm actually like about to finish that up. It is actually a good series.
Okay, so you one of the guys that's watching it. See, again, I haven't heard it. Like they mentioned it up here. Kokoro Connect and Strike the Blood, as well as this one's Hokkaido gals are super adorable. Never heard of any of these, and I'm not saying that they're not good. I just never heard of them. It doesn't really come across in my circles, but Stacy has heard of them. And this is really good apparently. So somehow Silverlink's gonna have to figure out how to turn it around. The only thing we could say is, if you are a fan, keep your eye on all of their works. Make sure you supporting them. All right. If you like any of these works, if this is your jam, if this is what you guys watch, all right, make sure that you guys are watching them and supporting them any way you can, because they losing bread every year. And it won't be long before they finally say, you know what, we just gonna pull the plug and call it a day, because we're not making any money in this game. And we might have to reshuffle the deck and figure this thing out. So I always bring these articles up, not to shit on anybody, but just to kind of make it awareness to those of you guys that might like these programs, like Stacy. Start supporting them. Because look, anime is a cutthroat game right now, man. Shit's getting crazy. Shit's getting a lot different. We didn't expect a lot of the things that we're seeing now, to be going down in anime. Yeah. And here we are. We're at a different spot.
Yeah. And, thank you, Joel. I didn't know about that. I'm gonna keep that in mind. Joel just said they're working on season 2 of Hokkaido Girl, so I'm like, okay, that's something good to look forward to.
Nice. Nice.
It's I've recommended if you like those good, wholesome slice of life and romantic comedy kind of stuff.
Yeah, like I do like the occasional slice of life romance. I do. Stuff that seems off kilter to characters, you never thought they would like each other, but then all of a sudden you tell a nice story. Like I said, Solo Camping for Two, I love that. All right, I love that story, man. So that kind of stuff to me is why anime works. It just taps into so many different genres, so many different, and everything is fun, and it's a style. It's just dope, man. But look, let me bring this up. Did you have something you want to say?
I was going to say you're not wrong on that, because, like, for example, have you ever heard of the Ronin Warriors?
Yeah,
that is a good series. That is a bit of that's like a really good fantasy tale, and it's not like they're being summoned into another world. It's basically like humans, each blessed with like a certain armor, fighting against the underworld, and that's like so big of fantasy. And I'm like, yes, that is good.
Okay, I have to check it out. I haven't watched it. I've heard of it, but never watched it. All right, here's a big one, man. Here's a big story. This was in Forbes magazine. When stuff hits Forbes,
that's big,
and it's being talked about from a financial lens across the globe. Things are shit's getting real. Okay.
Yeah.
Check this one out. Japanese anime has a growing opportunity in the U.S. compared to China. Now, what are they talking about? What do they mean by this? It's growing in the United States. It's growing all over the world, really. Okay. It's not just local to us. Everywhere on the globe, everybody's rocking with anime. Anime is one of the fastest growing entertainment options that I've ever seen. It's blowing up all over the world. We just had Demon Slayer. Okay, Demon Slayer just crossed what was like $600-700 million in the box office last year. All right, biggest anime movie ever. And it's probably the next one that's dropping next year is probably going to do even more numbers. So I mean, we're talking about anime is just dominating and taking names, kicking ass and taking names right now. But they're saying that it has a bigger opportunity in the U.S. than it does in China. And you start thinking like, well, wait a minute, man, China's bigger, right? It's got like 3 times the people of the United States. That's kind of strange. Like, what's going on? Why is Japanese anime growing bigger in the United States, or have a bigger opportunity to grow in the United States as compared to a country that has 3 times the people? Well, it's about censorship. Go figure, right? China censors and we don't. And there it is, right? There it goes. So let me read through this real quick. Seasonal Japanese anime in mainland China has ground to a halt, while the global anime market hit an all-time high of $25 billion in 2024. in order for Japan to achieve sustained growth for anime as the growth in China slows, Japanese companies will need to expand the genre's influence by building relationships with fans and media from the ground up. Since 2020, China's interest in Japanese franchises has gradually decreased among younger generations, as overseas content censorship has increased even before the current spike in political tensions. 6 years ago, internet users in China viewed less Japanese anime compared to local Chinese-produced anime content for the first time, according to a 2024 report from Rice University's Baker Institute. This constitutes with Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi of inflammatory actions and remarks in November of 25, putting further strains on Japanese-Chinese relationships, all right? And then it kind of shows you the chart of the seasonal anime available on mainland China. You can see right here, it was like, okay, we was up here, and then it was growing, and then it was here, and now this was the summer of 25, and right now, spring is 0. Not one Japanese anime for the spring, from the spring season right now is being watched in China. Nothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised
I'm not either.
at all.
I'm not either. I'm not surprised either. Okay. Increasing anime censorship as a result of Japan's deteriorating relations with China. A number of Chinese fans of Japanese animation is shrinking. And then it says, it kind of goes on to talk about, Sakamoto Days, Dan to Dan, and all that kind of stuff. That was doing great last year. All right. That was doing amazing stuff last year. But winter 2026 matched the frigid relationship between Japan and China. There was a significant retraction in the series following Prime Minister Takaichi's statement about Taiwan, which had Atelier and Demons of the Shadow Realm are receiving high praise in the West, but are absent from mainland China's roster. So, yeah, basically what this Forbes article is essentially trying to say is China is no longer your customer. And now, instead of trying to cater to whatever China was doing, whatever relationship you had with China, it's over with, Japan. All right. It's over. They ain't coming back. All right. They hate your guts and they're going to censor everything anyway. So you might as well start rocking with the West. All right. That's basically what it's saying. Okay. So an evolved domestic animation market, arguably the declining Chinese domestic interest could be traced back as early as 2006, and it's saying that it's been going down for a while. All right, comparing 3 leading anime franchises, Dragon Ball, One Piece, Detective Conan, to domestic IP, The Legend of Liu Xiaohei, Lord of Mysteries, and A Record of Mortal Journeys to Immortality. Basically, there's a paradigm shift in the overall declining search basically from Japanese titles from 2019 to 2020. Essentially, China's checking out. And that used to be their number one of their biggest customers for anime was China. All right. Not just because of the proximity and the closeness in, Eastern philosophy and all of that kind of stuff. It's like they're right there, right? They're almost like cousins. But not just that, but the fact that there's so many people in China. All right. China is a huge, it's over 1 billion people there, right? And because there's so many people over there, Japan was constantly just saying, hey, man, that's our customer, man. Let's go ahead and cater to them. But they are censoring them more and more and more and more. And it's getting to the point now, it's like, well, why are y'all messing with China? Why are you messing with China? So I think China's out the door. I think that Japan is going to start focusing on the West and the rest of the world, which may change things up. Like I said, you start to see how we've been talking about this, how Netflix is trying to make these inroads into the global market. Netflix is trying to get a stranglehold. They already got the deal with MAPPA Studios. So they are trying to lock their horns in on anime in Japan. And Japan is probably like, well, shoot, since China's out the door, maybe we should start listening to the West. The only problem is the West can be super woke. Okay. And that's the problem. I like the fact that we have a stronger relationship now with anime with Japan based on the fact that China's kind of falling off. And that means that, it'll be better for us. But if it turns into woke slop, then please don't do this.
Yeah, no. Like I think Tony Elias just said it in the chat. Identity politics. Keep that stuff away from it. Just create the product. If people like it, we will support it. If they don't, hey, they're not the ones to do it.
Yeah.
Now China, I don't know if I'd ever want to go over there because from what I heard, they don't like black people. So I'm like, I'm like, if
You know
that's
what?
true,
I don't worry about what they like. If they don't do nothing to me, I'm good, man. I'm just gonna sit in my hotel room. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna take pictures at the sites.
yeah,
I'm not tripping off of that. But I will say this: like, I'm not a, I'm not a fan of their politics. Kind of like how Darth Vengeance is saying, I'm not a big fan of their politics.
yeah,
And I know Trump just recently came back from a visit there. And we'll see if the China U.S. relations improve any at all from that visit. Some people are saying it was a win from us. Some people are saying it was a loss. I don't know. I haven't dug that deep into it, but I will say that China is trying to they're trying to wrestle some power, all right, in the world. It's interesting now that as they're trying to wrestle power away from the West and stranglehold this thing out, that anime, which to me is the biggest influence on younger generations, they are distancing themselves. They've got their own anime industry over in China. Don't get it twisted. All right, you guys remember Neza 2, right? Neza 2 is essentially an anime, and it was big over there in China. They have their own anime industry. I saw Lord of Mysteries. And Lord of Mysteries was pretty decent. What was the other one they did? They did another one that was big. It was on oh my God, what was this other anime? It was something about heroes. To Be Hero X. That's what it was. To Be Hero X. That was another Chinese anime, and it actually was really good. All right, I watched it all. It was really, really good. I enjoyed it. Okay, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was solid. So they have their own anime. They have their own anime industry. Lord of Mysteries, To Be Hero X. Those are some that have kind of crossed over into the West, and people enjoyed them. So I just think, you got to keep your eye on what's going on, not just from, the studios and the localizers and all that kind of stuff. There are bigger forces at play. There are larger forces at play when it comes to anime. Anime is, I keep trying to tell people this. Anime is right now the #1 entertainment option for people in their teens and 20s. That is your future. That is your future customer. Go ahead, Stacey.
You're not wrong on that, because I'll tell you this right now. One of my series that I read here at the house, I read Ari Ferretta from Commonplace, The World's Strongest, and I'm always laughing whenever Hajime has interactions with one of his 8 wives, and I have to explain it to I have to explain it to my family. They're like, "Wait, what? Why does he have 8 wives?" Because it was either he basically say, "Okay, yeah, I'm gonna marry all of you," or he lets it just turn into a magic what's the word? Magic catastrophe. I'm like,
yeah. Look, here it goes. This is what Forbes was talking about. An underestimated U.S. anime market. A recent Nielsen report touts anime as a mainstream medium in the United States, with over 5.3 billion minutes viewed within the first 2 months in 2026. This shouldn't be taken for granted. Over 150 anime titles were available on the U.S. streaming services last year, yet very few caught a viewer's attention in such a crowded market, even amongst anime fans. Some Japanese companies are expanding at breakneck speed to push recognizable IPs, One Piece, Dragon Ball, Demon Slayer, Gundam, and the like, with always-on marketing, from flashy activations to sports teams collaborations. But with cultural misalignment between Japanese companies and U.S. consumers, there's a hump that companies can't overcome just through marketing. Last year should have been a wake-up call for Japanese production committees, studios, and licensors, as domestic popularity failed to carry over into the United States market. Simply put, an anime franchise can't see it abroad without marketing dollars or strategies, even if it's put on a wide-reaching streaming platform. This is basically Forbes trying to say, hey, you guys got to start investing your money into anime. You guys got to start putting money into the mix. Okay, get this thing going. That's basically what Forbes is trying to say here. All right, you got to don't just put it on the streaming platform and think that's all you need to do. Okay, you got to start throwing more anime dollars into this, or more dollars into the marketing. Otherwise, the franchise won't make it. And so I think, honestly, in my opinion, because of the way Hollywood is moving right now, as long as you got a significant anime like profile in your portfolio, if you're one of these studios, you're going to be just fine. Okay, get some anime on your streaming platform, and like the Dodgers. I don't know how they do it in your neck of the woods, but the Dodgers are, because of Shohei, obviously, and Yamamoto and some of the other cats that are coming from Japan. They have a huge anime presence with the LA Dodgers. Huge anime presence. Okay, there's always something anime tangentially related going on at Dodger Stadium. And they got jerseys, they got, like bobbleheads, they got all kinds of stuff going on over there with the Dodgers. And I think other teams and other sports teams are doing something similar. I think I saw something with the Yankees and with the Mets. And so these big markets, they're starting to say, hey, anime is a nice little connecting piece to get some butts in seats and get some people in the door to start watching our sport. And so they're utilizing anime's popularity and kind of piggybacking off of that to help their own, sport. But not only that, Stacy, you're starting to see it, filter down, like the crossover is there. Shohei is a big anime fan. He talks about it. And then, you start to get more kids say, well, Shohei likes anime. Maybe I'll like some anime. And so you're starting to hear kids, talk about Shohei's favorite animes or this, and this. Let me watch those, And so there's that crossover effect as well.
I'm like I said, I'm not surprised, because this is actually what it is. When you basically are making stuff that people want to see, and you're telling it in a way that's like, I'm not just being told a story, I'm being showcased a journey to where I want to go on that journey with that character, see what that character is doing, see how that character approaches a situation, and go, okay, I'm stuck in a fight where I'm basically handicapped. What do I do to try and get through it? Like, for example, I know I keep bringing it up. Ari Ferretta from Comic the World's Strongest. One of the labyrinths that Hajime and his vampire wife and his rabbit wife had to deal with was a labyrinth where, guess what? They could not use magic. They could not use magic in any way, shape, and form. But yet they had to get through it. And then when they did, they actually found the creator of the labyrinth, who was basically operating a giant, like, I guess you could say almost a mecha suit. And they were like, okay, if we mess up just one little bit, if we mess up just one little bit, we're going to get crushed. And then guess what happened? Literally, they realized, okay, we can't use magic. So the only thing we can do is overwhelm her. And then when we break her monocrystal, we win. And that's what happened. Now, if you actually read the story, like if you read the light novel or the manga, it actually paints it a little bit more detailed. But the anime actually did catch that, because they're like, okay, vampire, her best thing is magic. How she could just go, let's see, she could just say ice spell, and guess what? She'll get it. She doesn't need to do a chant. She would try to go for an ice spell. She'd barely get little spikes of ice coming out of the ground. Like, oh, I can't use magic. Okay, that's screwed.
Interesting.
It's just like I said, when you put characters in a situation where you're sitting there going like, what are they going to do to get through this? Because remember, when we grew up, and I'm sure you can understand this, because there's Batman or Transformers. Whenever we watch the show or we read the books, we would look at the page and then go, he's about to get jumped by 40 guys, and each one's wielding a deadlier weapon.
How's he gonna get out of this?
Yeah, how's he going to stop him? Because he's got 40 guys coming at him from all directions, and he knows, okay, I only have 2 hands, and I know I could disarm about half these guys before the other half get to me. What am I gonna do? Now, when you paint that situation, you got people literally going.
You got a story now. You got some interest now.
Exactly.
Couldn't agree more. Yep. Look, I like this comment right here by Isaac. I guess that's how you say it. Isaac. I don't know. I'm not gonna try it.
I'd say until you're educated on it, just stick with what you got the first time.
Isaac 9989. My nieces 6 and 8 watch anime already. I began when I was 15 in 2016. Stuff got woke and lame and stopped watching Western slop. Yeah, that's what happened, man. Like, so look, you started watching when you was 15. So that's what, 2016. That's 10 years ago, right? So you started watching 10 years ago, and now your niece and nephews are watching it, or your nieces are watching it. And that's what happens because you're not promoting. What are you watching? You're watching anime. You're promoting the stuff you're watching. And this is what happens. Your nieces are going to watch what you watch because you're probably going to be watching with them, talking about it with them or whatever. And next thing you know, they're going to be, when they get older, they're going to be doing that with their friends. You know, their friends, 10 years from now, when they're 18 and 16, they're going to be talking about anime because that's what they grew up with. Like we talk about Transformers and G.I. Joe and Thundercats and He-Man. Why? Because that's what we grew up with. We in Gen X, all right, from the 80s. That's what I grew up with. Okay, I grew up with G.I. Joe and Thundercats and He-Man. That's why the He-Man movie, you know, it's like, hey, man, I'm looking forward to it. We grew up with it. And now these kids are not growing up with Western entertainment. I mean, yeah, there's some Marvel stuff, but the Marvel stuff is just kind of lame at this point, you know? And they really don't care about it like that. But they do care about Demon Slayer, JJK, maybe not JJK. That's a little too rough. But, you know, like I'm saying, like some of the stuff that these kids are watching, they care about. They care about Solo Leveling.
Yep.
You know? The top tier, and then they go back and they watch the old stuff, so they get, they get acquainted with Dragon Ball, they get acquainted with One Piece. One Piece is all the rage. Everybody's talking One Piece. And so slowly but surely, Western entertainment is becoming less and less important and relevant for the younger generations. They don't even care about it anymore. Oh, it's there. Yeah, sure. We can watch it, but ultimately they're going to rock with anime. So by the time they get into their teens and 20s and 30s, this is what's the next move. That's why Hollywood is like, what are we pivoting to next? It looks like superhero movies are out. Let's try to get some anime properties under our belt. That's basically what's happening.
Yeah. If not anime, they're going for video games right now. Because remember, the last two Super Mario Brother movies, they both broke the bank. You got
I think Mario, that the second one hasn't crossed the billy, but I'm pretty sure it'll get close or it will. It'll either it's over like 950, I think. Where's it at right now? I'm curious. But what were you saying? Go ahead.
Like when you got stuff like that, it's literally those things, as long as they stay the way they are, like I said, you can just write blank checks. You can just write blank checks and they're all going to get cashed every time.
Yeah. Oh, look at that, man. It's slowing down for Mario right now. Actually, that's kind of crazy. Right now, this is where Mario is at. Super Mario is at 943 million worldwide. I don't know if it hits a billion, man.
No, it probably won't hit a billion. Well, it'll probably come like right to the finish line of a billion, but it probably won't break it. But either way, hey, this is good for Nintendo. This is good for Universal.
Yeah.
They've literally done. They don't need to do anything else with this. They can just, say, okay, let's look for like another Mario movie to make, as long as it's something like this. They don't even have to do anything else.
Look, with a budget of 110 million, you make $900 million. Shit, you make $800 million. You in the bank. You good. You good with that. You good. It's like, bro, we made money hand over fist off of this movie, even if it doesn't cross that magical $1 billion mark. And honestly, man, I don't know how many movies will cross $1 billion going forward, because I don't think a lot of movies are going to cross $1 billion.
No, I look. Here's the thing. I think what these people are going to do, they're going to probably go like for example, we brought up video games. That works, especially Paramount. Paramount has really said we're not looking to make billions of dollars. We're actually going to keep the same thing, because like if you actually look at the Sonic movies, for example, right? Not only did they listen to the fans and basically got rewarded with like crap tons of money, if you actually look at the budgets, they're not too far from each other. So that's why like Sonic 1 made the money it made. Sonic 2 basically either reached it or eclipsed it. And then Sonic 3, when you brought in Shadow the freaking Hedgehog.
Oh, yeah.
You just made the money machine go. Burr, burr, burr. Like, come on.
All right, let's move on to this, man. So some of you guys was asking at the beginning, JJK and NYC, what's that all about? Well, this is what it's all about, all right? New York City just got a taste of global superstardom. Despite the weather, the official live action cast of one of the world's most in-demand anime franchises made a rare U.S. appearance at the Japan parade. The cast even created scenes from Jujutsu Kaisen in the middle of Manhattan, bringing the Guinness World Record breaking phenomenon to life in front of New York City crowds. In 2024, Guinness World Records officially named Jujutsu Kaisen the world's most in-demand animated TV show, and it probably was right. All right, so let me go ahead and show this. This is essentially, it says here, a rare appearance by Japan's live-action anime stars, and you're gonna see they're gonna have a couple of guys that you guys might recognize. That's kind of like, they showed up at a parade. This was like a Japan parade in New York. And there's Gojo. No, not the voice actors, Tony. Again, I guess these are the live action. So they're doing a JJK live action in Japan. And these are the actors. All right. These are the live action. I'm guessing that's what these are. These are the live action actors from JJK. So this guy clearly is Satoru Gojo. And then you get a couple other dudes, crazy fans freaking out. All right, they love. Look, man. The girls love Gojo. The girls love Gojo. And then you got
surprised.
You got Geto and Gojo hanging out, posed up. All right. And then they had Toji somewhere up in here. I thought this was like, okay, they got these dudes with the sacks on their heads and, they're doing, little ad. Yeah, there goes Toji. Yo, it's kind of fun, ain't it? I like
it. Yeah. I mean,
I
actually like this because, like, here's the funny thing, and I actually, I this kind of stuff I can actually get behind because it's like it's like we said before. If you pay homage, if you stay true to the source material, you stay true to the spirit of it, you will literally not have to work for a damn thing because it will basically give you your gold mine right there.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, it just shows you again the popularity of anime. I just like bringing it out. Popularity of anime is just growing. It's just getting bigger and bigger. More and more people. Look, this stuff is just This stuff hits just Japan parade. Well, let's just bring these guys out here. They're all like cosplayed, or maybe they're into cosplayers. I don't know. I heard that they have a JJK live action over in Japan. But maybe this is just cosplay. I doubt it's cosplay because they're doing like a whole out here. Yeah,
you're right on the mark on this one. This does seem like cosplay. This has to be like some of the actors was like, hey, we got some downtime. We know there's a special parade in Japan. We're gonna just entertain our fans. I don't think this is cosplay. I think it's like the actors themselves actually saying, hey, let's go to America and give them what they want.
Yeah, this is this is New York, Budgie Cat. This is New York. It's called the Japan Parade. I guess so they have some event called the Japan Parade. Again, let me go back up to this.
I wonder when did this
US rare US appearance at the Japan Parade. So this is Brooklyn. This is New York City. All right. But it's at a parade, I guess, for Japan. They maybe do this. I don't know how. I've never heard of the Japan Parade. Maybe they do this every year in Brooklyn. Angel, if he was here, would probably be able to tell us about it. But yeah, that's how it's going down, man. The anime is so big, man. It's crazy. It's all right. So crazy. Look at these guys. No raindrops should have touched Gojo.
Hey, look at the reply to that one.
Look, this person, I can't believe I missed seeing Seguro Ghetto in person. What the? Like, they mad because they missed it. All right.
What were you doing, sir?
Is this the first ever Japan parade here in New York? Now that I think about it, I don't think there's ever been one. Well, it's overdue. So apparently this is a like event that they didn't even know. A lot of people maybe didn't even know about it, you know, but they had a parade. It was in Japan. It was all about Japan. And, you know, JJK showed up. So
well, here's the thing.
You know,
here's the best part about this. This if just for JJK itself, doing this already has brought massive amount of eyes. So so basically, some of those anime studios that need the attention, they need the exposure. There you go. Get on it. Get it done.
Look, Darth Vengeance says DA needs to go to a host club next time he goes to Tokyo. I'd pay to see that. What's a host? Wait, what? Wait. Okay, I'm going to Japan in October. All right, so in 5 months, I will be in Japan. I will be going to Japan in October of this year. I know what a maid cafe is. I've done that. What's a host club?
A host club is basically a male version of a maid cafe, basically.
I'm not doing that. No, come on. Darth Vengeance, you tripping, bro. No. If you want to say, hey, TA, go to a maid cafe. Okay, let's do a maid cafe. If I could do some footage out of that, I would do that. Bro, what is wrong with you? Why would you try to tell me to do some? Yeah, thank you, man. Look, I had no idea. There's a reason I haven't heard of it. There's a reason I haven't heard of it because that's not something I would ever do.
There's actually
it sounds sus. I'm like, wait, what is that?
There's actually an anime based on that inspired the whole host club thing, and Georgie Girl just mentioned it in chat, or Orin Host Club, and that literally is a thing, and I'm not kidding.
Oh my god, got him. Got him. Nah, dog. Why y'all doing me like that, man? I mean, no, because real talk, I'll be looking for example. Hey, man, some of you guys know more than I know. Hey, what should I be looking for when I go to because I'm gonna have like full streams when I'm out there in Tokyo. All right, when I go this time, like the last time when I went a year ago, in April and May, I just kind of like filmed some shit, and had a good time walking around with my son. But this time, I'm probably going to do more content. I'm probably going to, hey, man, I'm just walking the streets. What should I look for? What should I get into? I want to get more involved with it. And now you going to be, hey, man, go to a host club, DA. You will have a great time. And I'm going to be walking. All right. Well, somebody in the chat said I should go to a host club. So let me go to this host club. And then I'm going to be pissed off. And I'm going to be coming for y'all. I'm gonna be like, who is that told me to go to the host club? I'm about to get in there, bruh. Why you doing me that? Like Darth Vengeance, I thought we was friends, man. I thought we was friends. Damn. Yeah, I guess that's look. Well, thank you for letting me know.
Yeah,
so if anybody in the chat tried to tell me if I'm like streaming and I'm walking through the streets of Tokyo and somebody, hey, DA, go to the host club, I'm gonna be like, nah, player. I already know what that is. All right. Like Dark Vengeance clued me in on that. I know what that is. I know what the hell. Bruh.
Oh,
hey,
man.
That's crazy, man. It is what it is, man. Hey, look, I missed this one. Jenna Ortega, Marshall J, what is up? Says for $5. I know you guys stuck on Demon Slayer so much, just waiting for you to watch Beloved Perfect. I'm going to watch it.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Marshall J. Chill out, brother. I will watch it. I promise you, I will watch it. Marshall J has been trying to tell me to watch Perfect Blue. All right. Brandon even said, watch it. It's a little weird, but watch it. And I was like, okay, Brandon, I got you. So I am going to watch Perfect Blue. Don't worry about it. It's on the list. Just like there's a lot of stuff on the list. All right. My list is like, I got a list of books and TV shows that I need to watch. That's probably somewhere around 30 items long. And somebody just added 2 more things to it tonight that I'm gonna have to go back and watch the stream and write those down. So look, we will get to everything. Before I die, I will get to it all. But thank you very much, Marshall J, 4 to 5. I appreciate that. Thomas Nazareta says Attack on Titan, The Last Attack is dropping in theaters Monday, May 18. That was about to be a topic, but I did see that.
Yeah,
I love
that
last episode. What's up? Go ahead, Stacey.
With the fandom that Attack on Titan had, I think that's going to break. That's going to be another good day for the theaters. That is going to be another good day for the theaters.
Yep,
they ain't got nothing to worry about on that.
Yep, that's a big one. That's a big one. Thank you, Thomas, for pointing that out. That's a big one. I was going to put that in the topics, but I was like, it's just something you talk about and then you move on. But yeah, that's going to be a big night. There's a lot of people that are, and I think it's one night only. It's like one night done. So watch it now or it's gone forever. And, it's like sometimes those special, screenings, they do good numbers because people are like, oh shit, I can only watch it now. Okay, let me go and check it out. So yeah, that's a good thing. I actually think that that particular show, even though a lot of people didn't really enjoy the ending, I thought the ending of Attack on Titan was great.
See, I think the reason why is because a lot of people was expecting certain things, but they didn't. They felt they didn't get it because there was. I heard there was like some things missing from the last episode, so I think the movie is supposed to explain some of that stuff.
Okay. All right. The DA gonna come back speaking perfect Japanese, hanging out at those places. I'm working, man. I am trying to study Japanese at least 1 hour a day. No, real talk. Because I want to be able to communicate while I'm over there. This time I was last time I was struggling. Now that I kind of I think I kind of understand the language a little bit. I want to go over there and just be able to at least carry on a very simple conversation. Nothing too crazy, but just, hi, goodbye. Thank you for your help. I appreciate it. Blah, blah, whatever. Stuff like that. I want to be able to carry on very simple conversations in Japanese. So I'm working on that. All right. I'm working on that meme.
Hey, you got my respect because right now I when I got home from work, I just literally wrote down a list of stuff of words and phrases I want to try and get practicing in Japanese. So, hey,
you know what? One of these days, I think we might do this. We might do like anime, like on Anime Heads. We might just say, hey, man, let's study Japanese together. Let's all hang out and study some Japanese together. And maybe I'll find a teacher or somebody that could just do like a Zoom call and just help us with some Japanese phrases and words and, kind of help navigate us through. I might do something like that for Anime Heads because, a lot of us would love to learn the language. And like myself, I really want to be able to at least be able to speak somewhat intelligently in Japan when I go. All right. Name is finally here. Name has finally arrived. All right. And look, he's dressed like he just went out. Look, he out here. He got his red tie on, man. Looking all fresh and so clean. What's up, Name? What's up, bro?
What you got, Name?
Bro, y'all did y'all do the homework? Did y'all do the homework?
He had his gun. He had his Gundam day. He had his Gundam day. There you go,
my second time watching it. It was my friend wanted. I watched it yesterday, but my friend said like, "Hey, yo, bro, I'm graduating next week. I don't have time. Can we go watch it today?" I'm like, "All right, bet." But it was a good movie, and it's also a good time because I came back to DA saying that he needs a Japanese teacher, bro. That's crazy. Guess who has an associate's degree? Guess who's guess who is certified?
You spoke Name into existence, DA, and here he is,
bro. Yeah, bro. Look, like, what's it called? It is really fun, and it does take a while. It's one of the most difficult languages to learn in the world, but like DA said, like if you engage with them in like their language, like that's a different level because like translators are one thing, them trying to engage with you in English is like one thing, but like if you can actually like speak to them, and bro, like it opens up a whole new world of possibilities, bro. It's like, oh yeah,
That's
bro.
why I want to do
You
it.
speak our language, bro. It's like, oh, try this. Here's this for you, bro. It's like, just little stuff like that.
Yes,
Just
yes.
because like you took the time out to learn a new language.
Exactly, man. It's the respect that you're showing. You're showing respect. I'm gonna learn this language, and so when you do that, that takes it takes it to another level. It's like if you're sitting here in America and somebody's just, hey, man, you could tell they took the time to try to learn the language, and they're not just saying, oh, I don't speak your language, but they're actually coming to you and showing that, hey, I took the time, I learned the language. Learning languages is hard. That's hard work. And so that's why I really want to learn it, because I'm going to be going to Japan probably every year. All right. Every year I'm going to be taking a trip to Japan, for the channel, but just because I love Japan, man. I loved it when I went. And so I just want to be able to go there. And when I'm hanging out in a store or in the mall or in a restaurant, I just want to be able to talk the language and speak to the locals and use their language to speak, not mine. Because they do speak some English, but it's kind of broken. But I'm like, no.
Yeah,
I'm
and
a
it's
guest in your
also
country. Yeah, I want to speak.
it's
your
also
language.
like mainly like the big like tourist cities like Tokyo, all like the the metropolitan areas. That's where they probably like more likely to be able to speak like multiple languages. But if you're trying to go to like the countryside or like the boonies, like it's less likely. So stocking up on the Japanese, not only like it can help you, but it's also like we've been talking about all this time, like the gaslighting with like the subs and the dubs, like you just
we're gonna get to that.
Look,
I saved that one for last because I knew name was coming in late. We're gonna get to the localizing. Yeah.
Now before we do, before we go to the next topic, name, you missed it. You just missed it. Dark Vengeance just triggered DA, and it was hilarious.
Well, what happened?
Dark Vengeance tried to tell him, "Hey, go to a host club."
Oh, dude, that's crazy. I mean,
DA, go to the host club while you out there in Japan, and I'm like, what's a host club?
Bro, nah, they were wilding for that. Look, I don't know like if it's like every host club, but like I know like some no matter how good Japanese you speak, they're not gonna let like foreigners in because like I don't know, it's just like a safety restriction or something, like maybe like legally there's something like if something happens like it's harder to resolve legally, so like I don't know if that's a thing, but like yeah, it's crazy, bro.
Good. So I would never get tricked into doing that. Good. Yo, that man, Dark Vengeance, man, he's not your friend. All right, he is not your friend at all. All right, let's move on, man. We had some news about Toei. All right. Animation announces a new animation studio in Vietnam and a new office in Dubai. So this is just continuing along the globalization of anime. Ooh. We talk about it all the time. Anime is going super global, and it's time to start opening offices in Middle East. All right, Dubai's got a new office. We're going to open up a brand new animation studio. And of course, Toei is behind Dragon Ball Z, One Piece, Sailor Moon, big titles under their names, and one of the GOATs, one of the legends of animation in Japan. So this is a big move, in my opinion, because again, they're expanding their horizons. They're jumping into foreign markets. Vietnam is South Asia, or Southeast Asia, but nevertheless, it's big. But you have Dubai now. They're making inroads into the Middle East, which tells me it's not just about the West. It's not just about the East. It's about the Middle East. It's about Europe. It's about anywhere they can get anime, they want to go. And if you see this kind of action, this kind of movement coming from a major studio, I guarantee you other studios will follow this lead. Your thoughts?
Before we go into that, look at the last thing in chat. Tony Ilias wrote, and no, it's not about Dubai. The previous one, you're gonna like that one, DA.
Well, this one?
No, further up in the chat, I guess Name just saw it. Tony Ilias told you
get DA to a love hotel.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Bro, come on. You know what? You should know what that is, right?
We
You
are
should know
on.
what that
Look,
is.
get DA to a hello,
Bro, you got some. Bro, you got some gooners in the
Our
chat, bro.
chat is dirty. Our chat is
Very dirty. All right, look.
Bro, the chat just came out of watching this movie, bro. They're gooners, bro.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, look, I already know the
Okay,
goons are here in my chat. But
oh,
all right,
God.
let's talk about this topic. What do y'all think?
I think this could be a double-edged sword, but I want to be cautiously optimistic. If this works, this could actually be really big and possibly even turn into a really smart move for Toei. Toei is actually one of the companies that actually try to keep the control of stuff to a bare minimum, and they don't take too many bad chances. So I think this could work out for them. But I think I'm going to say be cautiously optimistic. It could still backfire.
Okay. Name, your thoughts?
Okay, I have mixed thoughts about this as well because and it's a different studio, but for Ascendance of a Bookworm season 4, the whole like AI background in the intro controversy, I think they traced like the studio who like did that. Like it was one of a Disney studio. So I'm not trying to generalize here, but you know, that's already like not a good look, like, you know, in terms of like the grand scheme of things. But you know, like I also said this in the chat, like the more like you expand, like, you know, the more like, you know, you expand, like the more things are gonna fall through, like, you know, your finger, like through your hands, like as your reach gets bigger, like that's inevitable. Like things are gonna seep through the cracks. Like quality control is gonna be harder.
Yeah.
You know, and we've seen this problem here. Like sometimes you get so big, or like, you know, you're starting to allocate like resources like out everywhere. You can't keep a handle on it. Like, you know, the whole localizer thing. Like how many people in like, you know, Japan, like, you know, we're talking about the actual like, you know, important people in like the Toei. Like how much of them like know what's like what the localizers do over here? They probably don't, because like they probably have like someone who gets like who briefs them on it, and that person probably doesn't know as much because like they probably delegated it to someone. So it's like now you're open like a whole other avenue of like, okay, we now like get more delegates for this. We ought to get more delegates for this. So it's like it just makes it harder for them to like, I think, retain control for like their intellectual property. So I'm a little like, I understand like, you know, when this is good moves for like globalization, because like, you know, it means like they're reaching out, they have more avenues of like, you know, revenue, which is good. You know, you want them to make money so like they can keep making product. But as for like, you know, quality control and like, you know, just the general integrity of the like the medium, we're gonna have to, I want to wait and see on that.
I think the one thing that Toei could do is basically like send some of their people from their headquarters in Japan to basically be in charge of their Dubai office, and that could work out if they keep that keep somebody from in-house basically in charge. But like I said, I think it's just gonna have to be a wait and see how this turns out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, with a lot of things, obviously, we just want to see how it unfolds, you know, as time goes on. But you know, when you got a major, like I said, you got a major animation studio, all right, since 1956. Look at that, man, 1956. Okay, so they've been around. What is that? 70 years at this point?
No, that's 70
years in the game. Okay, 70 years in the game, man. These are OGs. And now they are making strides across the world, all right? Opening up studios in Vietnam, putting an office out there in Dubai so they can have connections to everything going down in the Middle East. That's big, all right? This is a global game now. Anime is no longer just Japan and, you know, whoever can pick it up on a pirate site. It's about global dominance. We talk about it all the time with Netflix. I think this is the next move. We are seeing it unfold in real time. And then 10 years from now, you guys will all be looking back. Everybody's going to be looking back. Yo, I remember DA was talking about how anime was just getting bigger and bigger on anime heads. And, you know, I really kind of didn't think about it, but look how big it is now. It is going to dominate the world. And everybody in Japan sees it, and now they're striking while the iron is hot. That's basically how I see this situation, man. All right?
Yep.
I see it like that. Look, the tea leaves are pretty clear. All right. The tea leaves are there. It's not hard to read them. But I guess we got to wait and see if, you know, if other studios are going to, is there any chance that other studios don't follow suit? You know,
Well, if they're smart, they're gonna if they're smart, they're either gonna copy Toei's way of doing things, or they're gonna try and make it like take notes on it and then see what they can do with on their own that way. But it's anything's possible. Oh, name. Did you know that AnimeKai basically shut down recently?
come on, bro.
Yeah, I know about that. You know, your
All
boy was that was like one of my few backups. And that was a crazy one because like it didn't get DMCA. It got burned down, and then
Yeah.
like you know,
That's
they
what we were
just
talking
decided
about
not
earlier,
to
man.
go with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because like that was one of the few like you know good site had pretty decent interface. It had a huge library, and then now it's just like, we're just over because like they like, you know, I think like the reason they chose to like shut it down voluntarily because like now that they know where the data center is, you know, there's like an easy way to trace it back to them. There's no ways about it. There's like okay, let's just get out. You know, maybe we're still gonna get hit by a penalty, but it's gonna be like way less if we then like you know if we just continue to do it and then like we're hit with like a bigger like you know penalty. So they're just like they're throwing in the towel like yeah we surrender. You know, it's like
Wait, name. Let me ask you this: what happens next? Do they try to come back? Do they try to rebuild from the literal ashes? Do they try to you know start it up under something like what do they do? Because normally we say, oh, you know, you take down one pirate site and two more pop up in its place, but this is literally a data center got burnt down. So this is not like you could just pop it back up.
And
what
people,
do you think?
People I saw people joking around saying like, "Bro, Crunchyroll sending out the hitmen now. Like they're not. They're done waiting for like the legal.
We said that in the chat. We said that. But what happens next, man? Like, is that it for the like site, the pirate? You know, is everybody going to start just bending the knee to Crunchyroll and Netflix?
Yeah, I think you are right, and like some people will because you know I've heard a lot of people like say like you know torrenting is better, and like some people don't want to put in the work to torrent. That's why they use the pirate site because it's all there, all the work's done for them. Because torrenting like it invites a whole range of like okay, you run the risk of like your computer getting a virus if you don't know what the fuck you're doing. So it's like you said, it's like you know the more these go down like and unless like and another thing is like you know. Sometimes they'll come back up, but it's not the same site. It's just like an imitation. So you don't know if it's like the same like quality or like if it's just like a front for them to like to harvest your information. So people are at that point they're gonna be like, man, I'd rather like, you know, pay the Crunchyroll, you know, keep my computer safe. Be like, yeah, it sucks that I used to get this for free. Now I have to pay for it and get like a smaller library. But you know, people like it gets to a point, you know, like they're gonna start like it's gonna be harder because I feel like no, people always say like, oh, you know, it's not our fault that these pirate sites go down because like there's a whole list of them, like everyone knows. I think you know it's either those lists are going to become more and more private, like no one's going to be like posting the sites out anywhere, or like they're going to be really careful about who you spread it to. Like they're not going to give it to like you know a TikToker who's like, hey guys, look at this site where you can watch anime for free. Oh my god, like they're not going to give it to those people no more,
right?
Or it's like you know. Everyone's going to switch to torrenting. Like the people are just, and then that's going to be the new problem because torrenting is still piracy, but it's like, how do you prosecute that? You know, it's like,
right. Yeah, I think that, and that's the reason why I'd asked is that I know at some point in time, a lot of these sites want to go legit. I think AnimeKai was talking about going legit at some point, and they wanted to like get out of the piracy game. But you know, if Crunchyroll, you know, I mean, like Crunchyroll just kind of has a monopoly on the market right now. It's like High Dive is there, but it's like, you know, Crunchyroll don't want that to happen, you know. So, you know, like when people say, hey, maybe Crunchyroll, you know, maybe they have something to do with this. It's kind of like, I don't know, man. I can't put it past them because
they sent somebody.
Especially in the West,
and I think like if they go legit, like you said, if they go legit, there's no way they're competing with Crunchyroll because the thing about piracy, you don't have the license to that title. So like you can put whatever the hell you want in your library. When you go legit, you have to go through licensing. You have to go through like middlemen.
Yeah.
That's why Crunchyroll only like they have a lot, but they don't have everything. like Brandon talked about like, you know, the Macross rights, like, you know, be in the US being like completely screwed. And I did see some of that. I didn't keep up with that because like I'm not knowledgeable in that, but I saw some people, they announced like there was a Macross screening at AX saying like it's going to be the first in North America. And a lot of people were mad in the comments because like, it's like, oh, it's your fault that you guys like kept these like, you know, these like stream, like, you know, you had like a chokehold on these rights. So like we couldn't like play it. So like that's another thing that these pirate sites have to run into. Like, you know, now you have to deal with licensing. You can't have everything as you once did. So are people going to go to your site anymore? Like if I was only going to your pirate site for like, you know, that one niche anime that Crunchyroll didn't have, and now you don't have it either. It's like, okay, why am I going to your site? Right. You don't have what I'm looking for.
Yep. I agree. Everybody, thank you very much. We got another super that came through here. Darth Vengeance dropped a 5. I suppose this means I can't come to Japan with you now. Nah, you off the list, bro. Look, I was about to say, hey, man, I'm going to bring some of my anime heads, some of the OGs that came with us, that started the site, all my homies. Yep, Darth Vengeance. You scratched off the list, man.
You screwed yourself, Dark Vengeance.
You won't trust me now, sad Bakades. Yes, I don't trust you at all, bro. You are off the list, but thank you for the 5. I appreciate it. Oh man. All right. Speaking of going to Japan, I asked this question. You guys know Star Wars is dropping. It's coming. A new movie is dropping next week. The Mandalorian and Grogu. Star Wars Japan had posted this up. Okay. Welcome home, Star Wars. Animated video depicting the emotions and excitement of Star Wars passed down from parent to child. Narration. Hideaki Ito, who loves the series with his family, and then there's some other stuff, whatever. All right. But they had this little video that I'm going to play right now, which I thought was interesting. All right. I want you guys to watch this, and then we'll talk about it on the other end.
あの日、僕は初めてスター・ウォーズと出会った。初めての衝撃とあの興奮。初めてのデートもまたスター・ウォーズだった。時が過ぎ、息子との初めての映画鑑賞もやっぱりスター・ウォーズだった。気がつくと息子も大ファンになっていた。そして2026年、父から子へ、さらに子から父へと思いは受け継がれる。おかえり、スター・ウォーズ。あのスター・ウォーズが映画館に帰ってくる。スター・ウォーズ、マンダロリアン&グローグ。
So the reason that I'm showing this, there's been a lot of people that look, obviously nobody thinks Star Wars is in a healthy place. Everybody's pretty much accepted that. But Japan has actually done a decent job, especially when it comes to visions, of at least giving us something that feels like Star Wars from time to time. They have their own unique like take on Star Wars. It's not Star Wars, but it's a different take on Star Wars. Should Japan be more involved with the franchise? What do you guys think about that? Should Japan be more involved in, hey, let us jump in here. You know, we do our anime, we got visions, and we do some anime stuff with Star Wars. And it seems like Japan, especially, you know, some of the anime creators, they understand like the way they're saying, hey, man, it's handing it down from generation to generation to generation. All right. I saw it when I was a kid in 1978. I came back in 1983. I took a date. All right. When I was, you know, it's building upon the past. All right. Like Japan seems to understand that. Like I see you comment. He says, no. He's like, no. Hear me out. Hear me out. I'm not saying this is, I'm just opening this up as a discussion point. All right. A matter of discussion. But they seem to understand, at least from a standpoint of tradition. All right. You know, Japan is very traditional. They honor the past, unlike Hollywood that doesn't believe in honoring the past. I think that Japan has a different take or a different understanding of giant franchises like this. And you know, Takashi Yamazaki, who was the Godzilla -1 director, he was like, I would love to work with Star Wars. That was like and I was like, bro, if Takashi Yamazaki says he wants to work in Star Wars, let him work in Star Wars. Okay. But that's the question I got. Like, I'm not necessarily saying anime has to be it, but should this get, hey, why don't we bring some Japanese folks in here and see what they thought? You know, see your thoughts on this.
I think it could work. The Japanese would have to be left alone to create it the way they want to create it, like create their own spin of the Star Wars story. I think it could work. Like at the very least, Lucasfilm would only provide them resources. They wouldn't try and dictate anything. But yeah, I think it could work. I think it could. Because I mean, look at some of like the Marvel superhero mangas that Japan has put out. Those are actually really good, really well done. It's like those guys took those characters and said, we can't write their stories, but we're gonna write our stories with those characters, and it still feels like we're getting new stuff, good stuff when it comes to like Spider-Man, Captain America, Iron Man. Like for example, I went through my books. I actually found the Marvel manga series where the X-Men were like basically Ronin samurai or whatever, and it felt good. So I think like if Japan was allowed to do their own thing with it, it could actually work out way better. But then again, hey, anything's better than the Disney Star Wars.
Yeah. Before I hear from you, I just want to clarify. Vision season 2 was trash. It was absolute trash. And that's when they went all over the world and they started getting dudes from France and from Australia. They had like animators from everywhere. When they brought it back to Japan, it was fine.
Vision. Yeah, Vision.
Was that
Vision season 2 was their DI. Vision season 2 was their DEI experiment.
That was the DEI season. Yes, exactly. That was the DEI season. When they went back to the norm, Visions is fine. Okay. Yeah. So the second season was trash. What do you think, Name?
Man, first off, DA, you see this video, bro? Like, you talked about like, the dad passing like Star Wars down to his son. Man, if my son became a fan of like the sequel trilogy, I'd disown the fuck out of him. Look at this. Hold up, it's about to show up. Look at this, man. He's about look. He's flexing. He's flexing the sequel trilogy figures, bro. Man, you out of my household if you showing that, bro. Like,
son of mine, get out of here,
dude. So it's what I just came out of like watching the Gundam movie, and there were so throughout Gundam, like there were so many like references to Star Wars, like not just in that movie, but just throughout like what I've seen of it. That I think like there are people there who are like absolutely inspired by Star Wars, who understand Star Wars, and it'd be a cool full circle moment because we already have it with Visions, but we all know that George Lucas he cites Akira Kurosawa as an inspiration, Seven Samurai. So I think that they it'd be cool, not only a cool full circle moment, but also like that now that Japan has like been inspired by Star Wars, like we've seen a bit of what they can do in Visions, like I think they would absolutely do some great stuff with live action. Like, and we could get like some Shogun level action for like lightsaber fights. Oh, baby.
Look, Name wants some tokusatsu on there, right? That's what you want. You want some of that. That's what Name is looking for, man. Say, hey, man, can we get some of that? Whatchamacallit?
Super Sentai on it.
Yeah, say let's get some Super Sentai action
scenes going. But look, bro, like those stuntmen are crazy, bro. You saw that Sakamoto Days clip.
They are like, good, man.
Yes, they are.
They know what they're doing, bro. Like
they are. They're good.
Yeah, no, I think
I'm just teasing you, Name. No, your Name is right. Like there could be a different flavor of Star Wars that the Japanese would do that the West would never even think of. And it actually might help the franchise out. Look, Star Wars is one of the biggest franchises in the world. Like you just said, Name. Akira Kurosawa is one of George Lucas's biggest influences. All right. So it is literally coming full circle. You know, you come full circle from where George Lucas got his inspiration from. Hey, let's just go right back to the source. And so that's why I asked the question. I think it's legit. I think it's a legitimate like consideration that, hey, let Japan in the door, let Takashi Yamazaki, let him make some stuff, let him have an act, hey, all right, Lucasfilm, I'm gonna make a Star Wars movie. You let Sean Levy make a Star Wars movie, hey, let him make a Star Wars movie and see what happens. I think it's legitimate.
And like you and Stacey said, let them do their own thing. Don't force like Takashi Yamazaki to make the Rey movie. Like if he has to do that, bro, he's a great director, but even he can't make the sequel trilogy work. Like it'd probably be better than like what they're cooking right now, but like it still has the baggage. So like like you said, you always say like set it 1,000 years in the future, no more like Skywalker bloodline, new stories, new legends, like see where that goes. If it fails, then it fails, but at least it fails without like tainting like the Lucas vision.
That
right.
Look,
either that, either set it like let it be its own thing, or at the very least go the route it was supposed to. The one with Mara Jade and the two children, and Luke and Mara basically taking over the Empire. But it was like, no, we have to turn it back to the way it was. That's what I was actually expecting when I first heard of episode 7 coming. I was like, where is she getting Mara Jade? Where is she getting the children? And then we all saw that crap. I was like, what is this?
What a disappointment, man. What an utter disappointment. So yeah, let the Japanese have a crack at it. See what they can do. I honestly think that it would be way better than anything we've gotten over the last 10 years. That's just me personally as a Star Wars fan. All right, guys, let's move on.
One more thing. It also helps that they're like so like culturally removed from like all the stuff that goes on. Cause like, we brought up like Vision Season 2 DA, like France is like still, it's still, we consider that Western. They're still like a little culturally compromised. They still like, align with the idea. So like just getting that, getting a director who doesn't have to think about that. If they don't force him to, cause like we've seen great directors bend the knee. Nolan, but just like, because I feel like they're so far, if they don't like, if Takashi Yamazaki is, or like any like Japanese director that takes on Star Wars isn't trying to play for like Hollywood or play for the Oscars, just like think about the audience. I think that's it's a hit. But if they're if they're going to kowtow to like, okay, you need to put this amount of people, or you need to like have these amount, like this kind of storyline, it's gonna fall flat no matter who handles it.
Yep. Hey, shout out to Georgie Girl, one of our Lucasfilm Star Wars historians, understands the mix. We was talking about last night on the nightcap. We were talking about it. There's like the tier list of all the canon, and how that all shapes up. And Georgie Girl instrumental in that conversation. Thank you, Georgie Girl, for hanging out with us tonight. Appreciate you. All right, guys, I want to move on to this right here, man. This is big. All right, this is big. Kadokawa. Have you guys heard what's been going on over there at Kadokawa? Well, if you haven't, let's talk about it. All right. Kadokawa's largest shareholder. All right. Let's just set the stage. Kadokawa is the publishing company behind like Sword Art Online, Chainsaw Man, like some major titles. Their activist hedge fund, Oasis Management, is pushing to remove CEO Takeshi Natsuno from the company. The firm accused Kadokawa of serious governance issues, criticizing its IP strategy, financial performances, handling of acquisitions, and losses tied to the 2024 cyber attack. Kadokawa rejected the proposal, calling parts of the criticism false and backing Natsuno as indispensable to the company's future plans. All right. So when you hear about activist hedge funds trying to take over stuff, immediately I think of Nelson Peltz and Disney, because we just got through going through that a couple of years ago. Nelson Peltz, he was an activist. Basically what it means is, I'm trying to take over this company and I want to stir up some dust and kick up some noise because I want to take over this company. I want to put my board members at the top and get rid of some board members. So they're stirring up dust within the Kadokawa the board meetings, basically, and saying we need to do something different. And that's essentially what it is. It's a hostile takeover. He's trying this company is right now on the brink of a hostile takeover. That's what's happening right now. All right. And I saw Chibi Reviews did a video on it, and I didn't have it ready to go, so I'm not going to show it, but you guys can go and watch Chibi Reviews on that, because Chibi Reviews kind of predicted that this would happen. He was saying that this was going to happen, and now and people were saying, oh, you're just some doomer and blah blah. Now he's vindicated. All right, Chibi Reviews, he was right over the target the whole time. Anyway, on Automaton, Kadokawa opposes activist shareholders' proposal to remove current president and CEO. Again, and here's the key point. I think the most important part about all of this. All right, Oasis Management. Do you guys know where these guys are coming from? They're coming from China. This is a China hedge fund company. Oh, it's all starting to make sense. So what China's doing is they're jumping in. They're going to be the largest shareholder. We're going to grab up all of this we're going to grab up all of these shares of Kadokawa, and then we're going to try to tell everybody what's what. Nope, we need to get rid of the CEO. Nope, we need to get this person in. Nope, we need to do this and do that. This is another move by China. All right. This is another Chinese takeover move. It is so hilarious when you sit back and watch it from the outside looking in, but that's what's happening right now. We got an attempt to take over one of the biggest anime publishers out there. All right. Kadokawa is in deep trouble. And this isn't going to go away. This is just the opening salvo. This is just the opening move. All right. That's it. This is going to be going on for the next couple of years. So we're going to keep our eye on that. But initially, I think this is bad, but it's good that the Kadokawa board has already pushed back, even though this is their largest shareholder. So you would think they would listen to the largest shareholder. We're not listening to you. Okay. It said the criticism is false and we back the guy. Now, this guy's not necessarily 100%. He's had some issues. So, we can break down if this CEO should be the right guy or not at a later date. But I just want to hear from you guys. When you hear that the Chinese are trying to take over a Japanese anime studio, or not studio, but publishing company, whoo, that's very, very interesting. What do you guys think?
When it comes to activist investors, I'm very, very skeptical about them. Nelson Peltz, I actually know about what happened because Nelson Peltz actually did grow up with he even said he raised his family on old school Disney, where you had Snow White teaching the invaluable lessons. You had the Beauty and the Beast. You had Aladdin. He grew up on all that and he loved it. His family loved it. He literally saw where Disney was going in 2015, 2016. He's like, yeah, no, that's nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. So he actually tried to, like you said, kick up dust, try to basically put some of his people on the board. So that way, at the very least, they wouldn't go head first into the decisions that Disney's been making for the past, 10, 12 years. Now, that's why I can respect Nelson Peltz. Although this, I'm right now in this time,
it's different than Nelson Peltz for sure. Yeah. The only reason I was using that is to draw the comparison so that you guys can understand essentially what's happening. Nelson Peltz was trying to do a hostile takeover of Disney. This is essentially the same thing. Right. Oasis Management is trying to do a hostile takeover of Kadokawa. They're trying to put their meat hooks into an anime publisher. A major anime, but one of the biggest. All right, like I said, Sword Art Online. What else has they got? I know they got Sword Art Online. They got
Rising of the Shield Hero. They got High School DxD. There's so much to. They
got reincarnated as a slime.
I mean, that's huge. Only the that's fucking big, that's only the light novels. Kodansha's got the mangas, but yeah, like I said, normally activists, I'm like, yeah, no, I got to go with Kodansha on this one. They did, in my mind, they did the right move. Hopefully, Kodansha, Kadokawa, I mean, hopefully they do what they need to do to get the ship right. But yeah, I think they did the right thing.
What do you think, Name?
I mean, like I was looking into it like I looked up Oasis management. Yeah, management Hong Kong. So you can already tell it's like they have some intentions. It's probably not pure, but I find it fascinating that you pointed it out. You thought they would listen to their biggest shareholder, that they'd be about the money. I've heard there's like this beef between, I don't know if it's like a triangle beef or like everyone has their like own different beef, but like China, Japan, Korea, like they have like some kind of like beef, and I'm assuming it's like from like tensions from like wars of old, and like just like political tensions. But it's crazy that, and
these are blood feuds. These are like blood feuds, like the Hatfields and the McCoys, man. This shit goes back like years.
I wonder if that was a factor in them, like choosing to stand up for their guy. Like is this blood feud like or like mean more to them than all the money they stand to like lose if like their investor like pulls out. And that that's an interesting thing to think about, because it means like, okay, if they're pushed to a corner, they'll choose like their own home country, their own like culture and values over money. And I don't know any about this situation, but like if I'm thinking about like how this can be applied to like other situations where you're seeing globalization, I just hope that when the time comes, if they have to choose between like the integrity of like their country and like their culture over like making financial profit from like international expansion, I hope they make the same decision as they did right here. You gotta stick up for like your guy, even if it's like if your homeboy cheats, like you're he's in the wrong, but it's like your homeboy. It's like, yeah, bro,
yep,
I'll stick up for you, but you gotta like shape up next time.
You my boy, yeah. Look, here's some of the IP. Look, Delicious in Dungeon. I think I've heard Brandon talk about Delicious in
Dungeon. Brandon definitely talked about that one.
Konosuba.
Yeah, Eminence in Shadow. Yeah, no. You got Class. We talked about Classroom of the Elite earlier. So they got some big titles. They're not a small fry. And now we got the Chinese basically trying to, rig a hostile takeover, and say, hey, man, we don't like this guy. We just bought in. We want to run it. All right. We want to run the whole thing. All right. They want to have their access to all of these IP. It's very disturbing, in my opinion, because what you're looking at right now is, again, because anime is going global, you're going to see everybody trying to sink their meat hooks into anime wherever they can, and so here we go, Kadokawa, and they've already come out. This is another part of this, which I thought was, I'm not sure if how big this is, but Kadokawa has solicited voluntary retirement from employees aged 45 and over, as it aims for a leaner workforce, which sounds like they're trying to, hey, man, go ahead and retire so we can go ahead and get this AI cracking, and we can make this AI, we can make this thing full AI, because I'm like, how you guys get like 45? That's not old by any stretch of the imagination. And you're trying to push people to retire from the company that have maybe been working there since they were 25 and probably thought they would work there into their 50s and 60s. Oh, no. Y'all just go ahead and retire. And it seems like Kadokawa might be trying to trim the fat, trying to cut corners, trying to trim some of the budget and amounts that they're spending, their expenses. That's young, man. That's crazy. Says aiming for a leaner and more efficient organizational structure, Kadokawa will be asking its employees to apply for voluntary retirement. I thought this was very curious that they would do this at a time where a hostile takeover bid was going on from a Chinese company. Because if I'm the Chinese company, I'm like, oh, we're not going to make you retire. Hey, you guys just keep on working with us, man. Like, these guys are trying to run you guys out of a job. I was like, this is weird, man. This is a strange time to bring this up right when a hostile takeover bid is going down. So I don't know. What are y'all thoughts on this? I thought this was very odd.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like I
you're
can't
n- you're
tell. I
not
can't.
wrong.
I don't know what's worse. I don't know what's worse. Like, when they say leaner workforce, like you brought up AI, but my first thought was like they're importing like immigrants or like from like different
Yeah.
countries because it's cheaper to like hire them. And I also think that's really bad because like it's like, again, we talked about it. The more like you try to like expand, the more stuff is gonna like eventually slip through your fingers. And like like you said, DA, some of these people might be like veterans. Like they might have like contributed to some like the series that we all know and love. And there's like, oh yeah, it's like we're not forcing you to retire, but it's kind of like they do this. This is a huge thing in Japan. Like if they like they don't like you or like they don't force you to like retire or fire you unless like it have to be a really bad situation. They kind of just like socially pressure you to like retire. They kind of isolate you. They stop giving you like things to do. So it's just kind of like you're just like taking up like unnecessary
I
space
heard
in the
about
company.
that.
So it's
Why I
yeah,
heard
it's
about
like
that. Like they don't really tell you to retire or quit or fire you or anything. They just stop giving you assignments. Like you're just coming to work every day and not doing shit.
yeah,
It's
and
like,
there's such
why not just
there's
fire
such a
them?
like there's such a like there's such a like responsibility and like driven culture and like they have like conviction and values that does drive them to like okay, I'll just send myself out the door because like they
Right.
believe in like values like that. So yeah, like you said, it's not a good look because if you're going over a hostile takeover, like you probably want as many people on your side as possible. And if like you're switching out, you're doing a regime change, like changing of the old guard, they're probably
Yeah.
not going to be happy. Like, and this also like it invites them, like you said, DA, like they could appeal the Hong Kong, like the hedge fund could appeal to like the old heads, or they could be trying to put in like new like Chinese transfers through the new system. Like, hey, look at these like totally inconspicuous like new Chinese hires. Where did they come from?
Mhm.
So
Good
it's
point.
like I
Good
like
point.
you said, if it's a time of instability, I try to just like lock down the ship, like no one gets in, no one gets
Yeah,
out.
like don't rock the boat, man. Like, look, everything cool. Everybody, we all friends right here. Hey, man, you guys gonna be working here for the next 30 years or whatever. They're trying to tell them, oh man, just retire. It's like, wait, what? Like, bruh. So yeah, that was very, very strange to me. Look, Kadokawa's got a lot of trouble. And again, we're gonna see more and more and more of this as anime continues to blow up. The globalization of anime, it's going to affect so much. I don't think people are aware of how many different little avenues this is going to take. The globalization of anime is going to shake up the entire industry. Before, it was just something you watched on, hey, I got my pirate site and I watch it on Crunchyroll and I'm good. It's getting bigger and bigger. And now you got these major players like this Oasis Management, all right, jumping into the mix. Hey, we want to take over this company. And then they're going to probably look to the next company. This stuff, I'm telling you, man, this is going to be very, very crucial for the anime industry. Keep your eyes on it. Don't fall asleep. All right. All right, guys, let's move on. More topics, more conversation. This one, we've talked about this before. This is just kind of something I don't know. It's kind of retarded. It's kind of stupid. But Name, you had shared this, and I just got a chuckle out of this, man. Anime Updates had posted this. Mushoku Tensei author Refugin responds to the claim that Deku and Uraraka in My Hero Academia had no romantic buildup. Look, Stacy already got the face palm going. Stacy already like, what are we doing, man?
So how'd you guys like my Picard impersonation?
Oh my God. There were plenty of scenes that were enough to understand they were drawn to each other. Why is everybody trying to say that like it was so obvious from the first season? From the first season, it was obvious. Why are they doing this? Does somebody have an answer? I know Name is our resident My Hero Academia historian. All right, lore historian. A Name. You probably understand the My Hero fandom better than anybody. These people are absolutely ridiculous, man. What do you got?
Bro, like, I don't know if this ties into like a localization problem, but like, it is pretty obvious, but like there are times in the manga where like they weren't pushing it, but it just like how can I put this? Like, it just gave the fans more ammo. Like, I don't know if you remember the scene in season 6 where, like, you know, when they're all trying to bring Izuku back from his, like, you know, his little vigilante arc.
Yeah.
So like you had the whole class 1A, yeah, and they're like, you know, and when Mineta, like, I forgot what it was in the manga. It was like a huge controversy, but like Mineta like said something, and in the English translation, it made it sound like Mineta liked Deku romantically, or that's the way like they were trying to frame it. Because I don't know what is up with this fandom, but like, you know, and again, I'm going a little bit off topic, but like this is another thing about like, you know, localization. It's like it's very hard to do. It's like, you know, some things that they have so many different ways to say "I like you" in Japanese, and when you translate it to English, all you have is "I like
weird.
You." Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
we're gonna get to the localization. I got the localization topic on the
but
so we're gonna get.
But it's like that's like one of the things that can like get confusing. It's like, you know, a lot of the like, you know, a lot of like you know, the things that, you know, the buildup that may have been seen in the original can get lost because like we simply don't have like certain words for that, or like they're not finding the right words for it. Like, because like, you know, you're learning a bit, DA. You're starting to hear a bit of it in the anime. The subtitles will say "I like you" or "I love you," but then like they say it differently like every time because like there's like levels to that, you know, in Japan. Right. Like, you know, there's the specificity to like the wording that just gets lost when you bring it over because we simply, I don't know if it's because like they think it doesn't sound right, but like usually when I see the subtitle, it's just "I like you" or "I love you." But when I hear it, it's like, okay, you love her that much or you like her this much, and it's like, you know, you're not getting that as a, you know, when you get it localized. But, and I'm not saying that's like, you know, some people just like, they're just crazy. They just kind of don't want to acknowledge the reality. But I can see like why some people say like, oh yeah, there was like no build up because like it can get lost in translation. But like you said, there was enough. Like, bro, you don't. It's like they're blushing over each other. They're thinking about each other. Like, bro, come on.
It was so obvious to me, man. Yeah. What you think, Stacy?
I think it's because people can't read the subtle signs. I mean, like if you look at Deku and Ochako, they're not the first anime couple who, if you actually read the stories behind them, you're like, yeah, they're not the first ones who just didn't come out and straight up said, "Hey, yeah, I love you," or "Hey, I care about you." I mean, think about it like this. I've said it before, Naruto and Hinata, they didn't have that kind of connection either, but they slowly built over it from Naruto to Naruto Shippuden. And by the time we saw Naruto the Last, sure enough, they were married. Same with Yusei and Akiza from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. Everybody knew that Akiza was falling in love with Yusei. And at the end of the series, Yusei was like, yeah, I understand you got those feelings for me, but take care of what you want first. I can wait. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things where sometimes you can actually portray more by showing rather than just telling.
Agreed. Yep. Sorry, I have a bad.
And there's also like, you know, one more thing. Like we get back to like this talk about like LARPing. Some people, and I've seen this, like they'll just engage with fan fiction or like fan art of like an IP or brand, and they don't actually watch the or like engage with the original source material. Like one of the craziest thing I saw, like someone like had a Gojo profile picture, and then like they're like, you know, they're like shipping like Gojo and Geto, and then it's like some like an actual JJK fan came in like, bro, they're not like that. Do you watch the anime? And they're like, no, I don't. And I'm like, so some people just literally they only engage with like the fan. Exactly. And then the fandom is like, you know, again, like if you cannot differentiate, if you don't like engage with the original material, you don't know what's canon and what's just like, you know, fan fiction. And that's just, you know, a subsect of like what I see. You know, sometimes like they just engage with the fan fiction or like the fan ideas, fan art, you know. And okay, that's cool, but like if you start bleeding into like actual like harassment of like people, of like the artists especially, like, man, I think it's past now, but like I think Horikoshi was getting like some sort of like threat over it. And I'm pretty sure like other mangaka have been like getting threats over it because like, you know, this relationship stuff is like very serious for these people, but it's just like, dude, like, you know, keep it in your own corner, man. Like, you know, just if you want to have that, just you have to acknowledge that, you know, what you're doing is fan fiction.
Yeah, I remember this shit here, man. This Deku Bakugo shit was what the fuck are y'all doing? It was weird as hell, man. It was absolutely weird.
Same to Name's point, it was the same with like the Naruto Sakura people. Everybody saw right then and there as the story kept going. Naruto didn't care about Sakura like in a romantic sense anymore. He grew
Right.
past that.
Yeah.
And he went to
Yeah.
Hinata. Why? And everybody's like, "Oh no, Naruto should have married Sakura." Like that wouldn't have worked. Even Naruto literally called her out and said, "Hey, I don't like people who lie to themselves." I'm like,
Well, look,
once again,
let's bring up the localization, since that's kind of at the crux of a lot of this stuff, man. This little post was posted up and Name shared it. All right. A guy who only speaks one language. I don't know, man. I think the localization is pretty bad. Trying to make an argument, I guess, that if you only speak one language, you can't really comment on the localization. You can't really say that localization is bad if you only speak one language. That's what this person is saying. All right. He goes on to say, I don't know if it's a he, she. Wait, let's see. Is this a he, she? Doesn't really say. I said, oh, okay. Dante, I guess, please call me Dante. So maybe it's a guy. All right. Says here, I harp on this a lot because I'm trilingual in ESL. You just cannot have a real serious point about the quality of translations, localization efforts if you don't know what it is like to learn a second language. I'm sorry, you just can't. There's an entire mindset shift that comes with the territory. You can have gripes about certain expressions being used in English, but that's one half, the output. You're still missing the input portion that lets you actually understand the process that led there and the potential compromises. It's shaky ground because no language is one-to-one. And then, that's kind of the premise. They're saying, hey, you know what? If you only speak one language, you don't really know what the localizers are dealing with and trying to translate these sentences and words and everything to something that you and your language are going to understand. That's basically what this person is trying to say. I find it utter bullshit. All right. Somebody had, I think this is this the, yeah. Oh, sorry. Hold on. The quote tweet, this person, Digital Life Form, says, hi, I speak 3 languages, 2 of which are the relevant ones 99% of the time this topic comes up, Japanese and English. The localization is indeed pretty bad. So it's like this person right here said, lose that nonsense, stop the drama, stop the bullshit. The localization is bad. All right. Quit trying to gaslight me and tell me that what I'm hearing and what we're seeing right now is a-okay. Oh, no. This localization is fine, man, because it's so hard to do this thing right. And remember, we saw the whole Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. And it's like that one right there to me was like, oh, nah, y'all playing in our face. To sit up here and tell me Happy Holidays when they clearly are saying Merry Christmas and you can hear them saying Merry Christmas. And then you guys are going to translate it to Happy Holidays. Like, knock it off, man. Knock it off. So, yeah, I'm glad that Digital Life Form came in and said this. Nah, the localization is indeed pretty bad. But just the idea that this person, Dansu, is going to try to, gaslight us and make us think that, oh, no. You guys don't understand. You only speak one language. All right? You only speak one language. Just shut up. It's like, get out of here, bro. Anyway, y'all thoughts. Stacy and then Nang.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. Digital Life Form called this one right. Like, you don't need that crap. You can literally, like I said, show, don't tell, or tell but don't show, as long as you do it right. When you got someone basically saying, "Oh, well, you can't be 1-to-1," you're right, you can't. Why? Japan, there's like what, 7 different meanings to the word love. Are you going to be able to get the right one? No.
Yeah.
That's when you got to look at the right, like you got to get the scene right. Right? Just because, we see it this way doesn't means that's no, just because that's what you see it. It's not what you see. It's what the creator tried to convey. Georgie girl, I agree. Fan localizers were way better.
Oh yeah. No, look, I listen. As I started to check out the differences, Yeah, man. Yeah. And now that I'm watching, shows on Crunchyroll, and again, because I'm trying to learn Japanese, I'm listening and I'm picking up on words. I can immediately tell, like I'm going through the Apothecary Diaries. I had an example and I've already lost it. I was watching the Apothecary Diaries and I was listening to something and I was like, she didn't say that. That what she said and what's on the screen is two different things. It's kind of close, but it's different. And I was like, I forgot. Oh man, I forgot the example. I had it. I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna talk about it. But there was some phrase that the girl used in Apothecary Diaries. It was completely different than what was on the actual screen. And I'm like, these guys are just playing. Like these localizers they're just doing what they want to do. It wasn't egregious. It wasn't like Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, but it wasn't exactly what they said. And so it's like, are you guys just like, why do they do this? I don't understand this. Why do y'all want it was something that didn't have anything to do with like, I'm trying to push a woke agenda or something. It was something very innocuous and very just plain. And it's like, but I think it's just like a power trip. I'm starting to think this shit is like a power trip. Like we're going to translate it our way and put that on the Crunchyroll app or whatever we're doing. And it's like, why don't you just translate it the way that it said? That stuff pisses me off. I don't know. Anyway, Name, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, no, it's the same. Like, the post said like, oh, you don't speak a second language, you don't understand. That's crazy because like learning Japanese has made it worse for me because now I can understand how bad. I thought it was bad before. But now I understand it's even worse because, like you said, it's these little throwaway ones. And I'm like, okay, fine. But every little throwaway one adds up. Like, how many can you excuse before, like, we get to, like, a really bad one? And then, like, those ones are atrocious. But, like, and I've also sat in on, like, some localizer panels, some, like, dubbing panels because I want to hear what they have to say. I don't want to just unfairly, like, throw stones at them. And I can see their point. But it's, like, also, it's, like, look, man, like you did not need to put a D's nuts joke in there to like because you couldn't explain the Japanese joke. Like at that point, it's like, like they did that for Don for one of the dubs for Don. I remember one of the actors said like one of the jokes like they switched it to a D's nuts joke because like I don't know what their reasoning was, but like it's like this stuff like this that makes me. And I hate to do it because like I've had like some great experience with some dubs, but it just makes you more of like a sub or like Japanese language original purist because like I'd rather just learn something new, have you explain like this overly complicated cultural joke to me than just like have you like say, oh, you're too stupid for that. Let me like switch it out for like like a dated joke. That's not going to be relevant in like several years because like that's what they're talking about fan subbers. That's what they used to do. Like you would like have this whole block of like you'd have this like little throwaway joke, it's your 1 or 2 lines, but like you have a whole block of text explaining like why it's funny, what it means because like you can't convey it in English. Like it doesn't have like the same punchline as it does in English, and I find that more fascinating because like I learned something about the culture. It's like, oh, okay, so that's a pun over there. That's that's a slang over there. Whereas like over here, if you just change it, because I remember they did this for Cammy for the subs, and I think maybe the dubs as well for Cammy from My Hero Academia. Remember her, the girl who could create misillusions? They had her speak like at some point they had her speaking in like with brain rot. I don't know if you guys know what that is. I'm pretty sure you've heard it. It's like this Zoomer like very Zoomer coded language. It was like, and you could tell it really just dates My Hero to like something like that comes out in like the 2020s, and I don't really agree with that because like My Hero, the setting, it's like it's supposed to be ambiguous, so like you can feel that it's set like somewhere in present whenever you read it, and the fact that they're using that language really dates like, oh bro, it's like 2020 like one, that's some of the damage that exactly that's some of the damage like this stuff, and like you said, D, I don't know if it's a power trip or something because like. If I was given the task to like, localize something, I would try to keep it as close to the author's vision as possible because it's not my work.
That's what they should be doing. Look,
You know,
Packer
like-
girl had posted this up, right? So she had said this localizer has some serious family issues. Is this Crunchyroll's localizer projecting their family problems into the klutzy class monitor and the girl with the short skirt English dub? So I guess the dub said to the three ladies I love, he's saying to my beloved family. It's like, wait, what? That ain't the same. Like the dub is different from the sub. Like the three ladies I loved and to my beloved family, completely different. All right. Then we move on. The dub. I was a wild child till a good woman tamed me. But the sub was like, but now I'm very dedicated to my family. So it's like, what? This is completely different language, completely different words, completely different context. Like everything's changing with the dub. All right. I'm done raising hell because I'm raising girls. Now he says, I'm seen as a diligent, devoted father. Like, again, I'm done raising hell because I'm raising girl. It's like, okay,
Yeah,
so
no,
now you're
that-
changing it changes the character.
Exactly.
It changes the character, man. The character says, I'm seen as a diligent, devoted father is a different way to look at this character. The words matter. All right. How they present themselves, what they're saying, it matters. So you can't just go fast and loose with the dubs. This is what people are talking about. Yeah, exactly, Darth Vengeance. Completely different. This is completely different. All right. Not even close. The dub says a beautiful home where your girls are waiting. And then the sub was like, my beloved family is anxiously awaiting my return. So again, they're changing up the entire like context of what it is that they're saying. All right. You know, I've lived a lot of life and worn a few hats versus I was quite a handful when I was young.
See, I don't even understand how you get that kind of a change from the sub. I'm like, no, you don't do that. You don't do that because you're just poisoning it now.
Yeah, just again, man, just, you know, whatever I want to say. All right. Or we could push the cart ourselves. We could just go with mama. It's like, again, complete, like what is the context? I don't know. We're just reading subtitles and the dubbed words. So we really don't know how this is all coming
and
together.
Some,
but
like
it's,
one of the justifications they have for like changing lines is oh, we need to fit it within the lip flaps. And like for some of the other ones, I'm like, okay, fine, I can see your point. But this one, you can say this exact same thing. You can say like we can just go with mama in the same amount of time you say we can go push the cart ourselves. It's like, bro, what are you doing? Like
this here, yeah, he is. Do you just go looking for vibes to kill when school is out? Versus, yeah, the guy who nags people at the school gate every morning. I mean, it's just like, again, it's completely different words all together around different contexts, different everything. Like they're just making up stuff, man. You're not going to make a living doing this, son. You'll be the ones in trouble when your grades drop. Again, they're changing up the entire context of what's being said. They're changing up the characters, and they don't care. And this is the problem people have with localizers because, look, Japan, when they wrote what they wrote it that way. And so now you're translating this, but instead of translating what they said, you'll be the ones in trouble when your grades drop. You're changing it to, you're not going to make a living doing this, son. And it's like, it's not the same thing. This is not the same thing. Tell us what they told us. But if you're somebody just listening to the dub, hey, man, this is what he said. You're not going to make a living doing this, son. It's like, it's completely different. Completely different.
I have a question for the I have a question for the panel and the audience. Like, you know, they say like, you know, you should have to learn. The original post said like you should have to learn Japanese or like, you know, another language to have to be participating in the localizing conversation. But like, what if we reframe the question? What if, you know, what if like the actors themselves had to learn Japanese before they dub over an anime? Because I think like, no, I'm being serious right here. I'm thinking like, it's like I feel like they're just being served like, you know, these things by like the localizers, and like, you know, they're just listening because like, you know, their main job is to act, but like they don't understand like, you know, okay, like I feel like if they study Japanese, they would be able, because when they dub over an anime, they do get to like hear and see the original performance, but like I feel like you said, if you hear it, if you understand it, you have a different like interpretation. You have a different like
Right.
it's different to you. So I feel like would it be a useful tool to like make these actors like learn some Japanese so like they can actually hear and understand the emotions, so like they can like check the localizers. Like
You would
I
think
don't know,
so.
it doesn't feel right, like
Yeah,
he
this
didn't
don't
say- it didn't
sound right to
like-
me, man. I don't like the way that I'm acting this out, and this doesn't feel authentic. All right, look at what this guy says. The dub at the top there. Yo, he clapped back. The bottom one says he hit him with a response. So it's like, okay, he hit him with a response. You could say, yeah, he clapped back. But is that the vernacular that a Japanese person would use, something to that of the effect? It's like, it's different, man. It's completely different. And again, some people might say this is nitpicking, but to me, I care about the original text. All right. You guys know how I feel about everything when it comes to an adaptation. All right. And this is essentially adapting one language into another. Get as close to the original as humanly possible. So if you can interpret this by saying he hit him with a response, then that's how you should say it. All right. And the bottom one right there, and landed clean. And then they say, what was that? Like that kind of stuff really frustrates me when they just like, wait a minute, man. They're saying, what was that? What was that? And you're saying, and landed clean. It's like, it's not the same.
No, because
Frustrating,
here's
man.
it's not even just that. It's just people wanting to do what they want to do.
Facts.
Think about it like this: when it comes to translation, at the very least, if they had tried to get close to the source material as possible, then we wouldn't even be having the problem. I'll give you an example. Street Fighter 2, the animated movie. In one of the scenes, Ryu and Ken basically do the same thing they always do. Bump fist. Sorry about that. They bump fist and they always say, hey, see you around, muscle man. Next time, hot shot. Guess what? If you listen to it in Japanese, it's basically the same thing. It's not one for one, but it portrays the same thing where they're basically saying, I'll see you next time, bro. And we'll have another great fight then. That's something that's like, okay, we knew we couldn't get 1-to-1, but we couldn't hit a bullseye, but at the very least we got to that center, that inner circle ring. And that's what
I
works.
just want them to be like, to that point, I just want them to be honest and true to the game. Hey, like Dragon Master Zero is saying, having people learn Japanese can be a solution, but most don't have the discipline to do so. It's like they don't have discipline. And so because of that, it's going to be hard pressed to get them there. But that would be honestly, that would be the best way to go about it. Learn some Japanese so you can understand what it is that you're translating.
And that's what makes the situation worse, because like, you don't have to learn Japanese. Like if you want to do it, I think it should be something that you want to do rather than like something that you have to do. And that makes the situation worse because you're putting your trust in these localizers that they're going to like authentically convey to you the original meaning of the work. And they're just blatantly lying to you because they know you're not going to put in the work to do it. But, like I said, the more you learn about Japanese, you guys, like, you're going to become more radicalized because you're going to understand how bad, like, some of this stuff is. And like
some of this stuff is really bad, man. Now that I'm learning Japanese, at least again, I'm just picking up words and phrases here and there. But the more you hear them, you start saying, "Oh, I know what that word means. Oh, I just heard something." And I'll rewind it and listen to it again. I do this like when I watch anime. It probably takes me like 40 minutes to listen to it to watch a 20-minute anime because I'm constantly picking up words and phrases. I'm going back. I'm listening to them. I'm repeating them. I'm checking what it actually means. I think it said this. Is that what it said? I use my phone because my phone has a little translation app on it. So I use a translation app to translate what it says there. I'm doing all this stuff every single time I watch every episode of any anime that I'm watching. But yeah, I'm picking these guys didn't say, because then I'll go and listen to the dub. Like that's what I've been doing for Apothecary Diaries. I've been going back, like I'm just listening to the sub and just watching the show. But then I'm like, hey man, wait a minute. I wonder what they said. I wonder what this particular scene, what did they say in the dub? And then when you go and listen to the dub, it's like, this shit ain't even close.
No.
They are playing fast and loose with this stuff. So the dubs, I'm out. I'm not listening to dubs anymore, except to do stuff like that. All right. Except just to hear what
No,
they had to say. Go ahead.
Now, some dubs, I will give the guys behind it credit. Some dubs they do get it to the to a good point. It's kind of like what Dark Vengeant here just said in the chat. Learning the language of a character you are playing can also help with cultural understanding of that character, which is what you need. Now, Arifureta, for example, in scene they actually stuck. I wouldn't say they were 1-to-1 with the source material, but they conveyed the message perfectly to where, you know, we didn't get it perfect, but we got the meaning of it behind it, right? Like, for example, the end of season 1, Hajime basically had to take on a demon woman named Catalea and her monster army. In Japanese, he basically said, you have one chance. Take your monster army, leave now, and I won't do anything. In the dub, he says, I'm gonna give you a chance. If you leave your with your monster army now, I won't follow you. She goes, wait, what did you just say? Okay, take your monster army and leave. This is your only chance. Both the dub and the sub were very close to where it conveyed the same message, where he was basically saying, leave now or you will be deleted. And that works. That works really well. It's just some
close,
of these.
Yeah, if it's close, it's fine. Yeah. It's when it's so far apart. It's like, man, you just completely changed the character. Like we just saw with that other guy, you just changed the character. You changed the context of what's being said. You changed everything. And you did it for no good reason, because there's a perfectly acceptable translation there that you're just not doing. And that means that, like, all right, what are you doing this for? That's the question I always got, you know? So that's what's frustrating about this stuff, man.
Yeah, and
it's really,
and like
really
you said, like DA, like, you know, if they can get it as close as can, that's as best as possible. But like, it's these like bad actors that are ruining like even those ones, because now you're starting to like you said, you're starting to like, you know, nitpick and zero in on like every little inaccuracy. And we understand that localization isn't ever going to be 1-to-1, but it's these bad actors that are making us second guess even like, you know, the guys with like, you know, that are just like, we couldn't do it. We tried our best, and now we're second guessing them because of like these bad actors who are like changing the whole script. And it sucks for like good people who are just like trying to do their jobs, you know?
Yep, I agree. All right, guys, look, let's move on, man. I got a bad frog in my throat, and I'm gonna have to try to wrap this thing up because I keep coughing. But I want to talk about this real quick. Netflix, How to Fight. You guys remember this was viral hit, anime that came out a couple of years back, and I loved it, man. I thought Viral Hit was awesome. They're doing a live action retelling of this, but it seems like it's only in Japan. I don't know if we're going to get this in the United States, but they got the cast list out here, and I mean, you know, that's Viral Hit. You know, everything. This looks actually pretty good. Okay. All right, this looks pretty
Sorry. I had a quick question, because like this is really interesting. It ties back to like the whole localization argument we just had. Like, you see the title in English, it's called Viral Hit, but when you translate it in Japanese, it's called How to Fight. So like, you know, and I brought this up with Demons of the Shadow Realm too, because like I was looking into it, like the name, because I just had a like passing curiosity, and like, you know, they kind of punched it up for like the English release. So like, is that ever okay in your guys' eyes, or like, you know, do you still prefer to have the original meaning? Because like, for Demons of the Shadow Realm, what it means in like Japanese, there's a very specific meaning to it, and it's really thematic, like why they named it that way, and like how like, you know, the titles are named. Like it's really thematic, because like in Japanese, like it's called Yomi no Tsugai, and Yomi is like the underworld, and Tsugai is like a pair. So like, that's why, like, for Demons of the Shadow Realm, so many of like the episode titles, if you take notice of that, it has to do with like one thing and another thing. And I feel like that's something that got lost with like the localization of the title, Demons of the Shadow Realm. There's no mention of pairs in that, so it's like, you know, and it's the same. I'm seeing the same with like right here with Viral Hit, How to Fight. You know, it's like, is that ever okay? Because like, you know, I understand like you got to make it more appealing. But like, I feel like sometimes the original like intention, or like, you know, some little details are like lost when we do that.
I think the title is okay. It's about the whole thing is about kids fighting on social media, using like social media as a as the platform where all of these fights are taking place. And this kid here, this guy right here, who is the protagonist, I'm assuming, I forgot the guy's name in the manga or the anime, but he's the guy that's learning how to fight. All right. And he actually learns from this chicken guy down here in the corner. He's watching videos of this guy who's basically teaching him how to fight. And so he learns how to go through all of these like difficult opponents that he has to fight based on his, and he's just watching videos. It's like YouTube videos. Like everything is about YouTube. That's why they have this YouTube symbol in here in the middle of it, because that's what the show is about. So calling it viral hit, I'm fine with the title, but it is How to Fight. Like the actual name is How to Fight. I learned that early on. I was like, it was called How to Fight, but then they're calling it viral hit. So why are they doing that? But then when you watch the anime, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. It makes sense. So it kind of fits in with what's being said. But you can see, like, you got this girl here. She got a phone. This guy right here, he's got the camera going. It's about, trying to go viral. And, so that's a major component of the story. So that for that standpoint, it's fine. If it didn't have all of those elements in there, it probably wouldn't have been titled Viral Hit. It would have just been How to Fight. But I think Viral Hit is more of a, what's the word I'm looking for? It kind of explains what the show is about a little bit more. Like, this is where like those long titles for anime come into play, because there's a lot going on. And so Viral Hit touches upon one part of the story, but then How to Fight, because he's literally learning how to fight, is part of the other part of the story. I don't have a big issue with it because it doesn't necessarily take away from what the story is about. Where I get a problem with when it comes to localization is when whatever you're translating doesn't match up with what the story is or what this character is, and you're now trying to shift it into something else. That's where I got an issue. Yes, Thomas Nazareta, that's a chicken that taught him how to fight.
I'm in agreement with you on this one, DA. I'm like, I get what they're going for, and the way they have it, it actually works for it. Anything else, we got problems.
Yeah. It's a good show. I think it's awesome.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, to the point that I was just trying to bring up was just, we're going to get this on Netflix, but are we going to get it in the States? I don't know. It's going to start June 11, which is next month in Japan. But I don't know if we're going to get it in the States. But I don't know. I just thought I brought it up. I really like this anime. This anime was actually pretty good. So anyway, yep. Last but not least. I'm sorry, Name. Did you have one more?
I was just gonna say, like, I feel like we talk about like live action manga adaptations or like live action anime adaptations and like how few good ones there are, and I'm starting to wonder like if there are a lot of like hidden gems here and there, but we just don't get them because they're like region locked to like Netflix Japan or something.
Yeah,
which is like I think an issue because I think like I've seen some good examples of like I think easy ones to do, like, we would talk about like rom-com. They don't have any like crazy like action fight scenes. So like those are probably easier to like adapt. And they're probably like some sort of decent quality. Because I heard like those are like, live action adaptations in Japan is one of the end games. Like anime adaptations is good, but like live action, I think this is like a whole thing around the world. There's still like, there's a level of prestige to like, there's a hierarchy, I feel, to like, how they still like think about like the arts, movies are probably at the top, and then it goes to like TV shows, maybe like theater, and then like animations like somewhere. Like I feel like theater and animation like kind of fight depending on like where you're at, but like it feels like they're still shooting for like live action, and I'm wondering if like we're not getting like we don't have access to like some good live actions, and I kind of wish they would show it more to us. Like I really want to see like that live action Sakamoto Days. I want to see that live action Blue Lock. Like, I want to see what they're about because they look good. And if they're going to be region locked behind Japan, it's just like, look, if you I understand they're global expansions for anime, but I think that's also like an avenue where you can like, invest, because people are starved for like good live action entertainment. There's some people who will never watch an anime, but they'll watch a live action. And if you can, hook them in with that, maybe you'll make the transition.
You might create a fan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, guys. Last thing we got to go over. Sorry, it's the Anime Fantasy League. Y'all not doing so well. Well, actually, Stacy, you're still winning, man. You're still number one. But I'm rising. I am rising in the ranks. Look, let me bring this up, man. Let me bring it up. All right. So show friends only. Let's go over it. All right. So Stacy, you're still number one. But you down 53 points from last week. Meanwhile, I'm up 191 points. What? I am coming for your head, bro. I'm catching up to you. Angel is in third place in name, bro. What happened, name? What's going on?
You about to be right on my ass. You about to be right on my ass,
I'm waiting.
Hey, that's a pause,
I'm waiting
bro. Be careful with that right there, man.
Not like that.
Bro. Bro, I'm waiting for one of my anime to pass the watch threshold so I can ace another one, because that's one of the problems right now. I can't ace any show right now because there's still a show that hasn't passed the threshold. So like if I ace it, I'll lose points instead of gaining points. But and I have to be really quick with the timing because they're really close in watch numbers. So like the minute like that goes over, I have to ace it. It's like a really it's a tight situation for me to pause. But yeah, man, I made some choice picks, but I stand on them, bro.
Man, I'm doing all right, man. My team is looking pretty good. With Storia Season 2, Dr. Stone, Demons of the Shadow Realm, Liar Game, Eric Toshin. Looking all right so far, man. Doing all right. But yeah, I like this game, man. I like it because it kind of gives you an idea of what's hot, how things are moving right now. And then the ones that I have right here, Dr. Stone as well is doing really good. It's like, we talked about it at the very beginning. Dr. Stone's the #1 anime on Anime Corner. So it's getting a lot of tons and tons of watch hours. And then, of course, Demons of the Shadow Realm is doing very well. All right. You can see how many people are watching this, man. This one's taking off big time. So
I'm really expecting
great season for me.
What's that say? About 101,000?
Yeah, 101,000 users watching. So I'm doing great, man. I'm loving it.
This is probably going to help all three of us if we have Demons of the Shadow Realm on there. I'm going to say before the season's over, that 101,000 probably hit about 125,000 before the season's over. So that
this is my only problem, man. My bench is trash. This bench, my bench is trash. I ain't got nowhere to go, man. I'm like, bruh, if these guys don't hit, I'm over with.
Well, Kanebashi and Iruma-kun so far are actually doing really good for you. It's that Kanojo one that's screwing you over. That's that's the tire. Yeah, that's the title.
That's what's the name? Is that Rent a Girlfriend?
Yeah, that's Rent a Girlfriend.
Yeah. I'm. Oh wow.
I just did that on the lark, man. I was just like, all right, man, let me throw Rent a Girlfriend on there, bro. What a mistake. Now I can't, it. But it is what it is. It's just fun, man. I'm having a good time with it, just watching this thing grow out. But yeah, my top dogs here. Marriage Toxin is really good, man. I highly recommend Marriage Toxin if you guys haven't checked it out. It's good. I like Liar Game, even though Liar Game isn't doing that well. But I really like this anime. It's really good. Got that Squid Game like mystery element. People stabbing each other in the back. Trying to figure out how they're going to win the Liar Game. I really enjoy it. I think I recommend it, but there it is. All right, guys. That's it, man. I'm tired. I'm about to get some rest, man. We've been going for almost 3 hours. All right. But we covered a lot. And I want to thank everybody, all you guys, for rocking it out with us. Some of these clips will be up on Anime Head. So when they do show up on Anime Heads, make sure you guys watch those. We are streaking towards 500 total subscribers. And once we get there, man, it's going to be so fun. I'll almost we're going to do giveaways. The shirt that I'm wearing, you guys, let me show that to you. The shirt that I'm wearing, the Anime Head shirt, All right. I'm gonna be giving away a bunch of these. All right. I got some coming in, and I'll be giving those away. When those come in, man, I want to run some contests, and we gonna spin the wheel like we do, like we did with the Disney Star Wars shirts. And we'll give some of these shirts away. I got a blue one, a red one, a black one, and a green one, I think, coming in. And so we'll give those away as a thank you to all of you guys that's helping support us. But we got to get Anime Heads cracking first. But once we do, then it's going to be Giveaway Central, and we're going to start really ramping up that channel. But yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Name, thanks for coming through and making it late. I appreciate it. Stacy, you got anything coming up next?
Latest episode of Mortal Kombat is uploading right now. Not going to tell you the fighter. You're going to have to watch. By the time that video does go live on my channel, I will have a poll for next Saturday's fighter. So you guys can vote on that. Got the next episode of Trails of Cold Steel ready. And also, I'm actually in the midst of learning how to use Streamlabs for videos. Because I'm actually going to start a kind of a series on my channel where every month I will basically showcase what manga I pick up. And so hopefully that way you guys can check out some of my manga, see if it hits with you, or even recommend some to me, because I'm kind of interested.
Okay.
I love reading manga.
I like that. Cool. I like that.
But like I said, I gotta learn how to use Streamlabs for videos. But yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right, guys. Thank you very much, Dragon Master Zero, for shouting that out. Everybody get over to Anime Heads and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Again, we're streaking towards 500, and once we get there, we'll be monetized. Hopefully, we'll be monetized. We still got a couple of watch hours we got to clear, but I think we'll be there by then. And then we really going in. All right, the Anime Heads channel is going to explode. We're going to have so much content on there, you will not believe it, man. But I really want to appreciate everybody for the support for the channel, for this channel, and for Anime Heads. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much. And we will see you guys. Well, let's see. We'll definitely. It's either going to be Wednesday or Friday. Okay, when the anime show, it might be Friday because I do have something that I got in the hopper for Wednesday. So I'm probably going to have to do Friday again. But then we will also do the Saturday Anime Awards on the 23rd. Crunchyroll Anime Awards. We'll go live then. And we'll discuss who wins, who loses, and all of that good stuff. Stacy, you had one more thing?
No, I was gonna. In case you forgot, I was gonna remind you about that. The Anime Awards, but you hit it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're gonna do the Anime Awards.
We do stream, like it might just that just might be like the Friday stream, and then we just stream until like that's over, because I feel like they're airing it in Japan's time, so like it's gonna be like 2 a.m. in like California. Or
wait. I thought it was going to be at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
What time is it?
It's 7. I think it's.
Is it going to be 7 o'clock in Japan?
I think so. I'm not sure. I need to go look at the countdown again.
Because I thought I just got through telling everybody it was.
Let me see. Yeah, you might want to look that up real quick.
Because I thought it was going to be. Let me see. Anime Awards 2026.
Yeah, because they're holding it in Japan. So
Japan's gonna lose their crap if some animes win certain titles that they probably shouldn't even win. You know, Japan will lose their ish on that.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I don't think they care. I don't think they care because they don't have access to Crunchyroll over there. So like, it's a nothing burger to them unless like they're really trying to push it. Because I know one year
you're right, Name, you're right. So it starts at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Saturday morning. I might still go live at that time. But 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for Pacific, which would be 9 a.m. for Stacy. I don't know. We'll see. I'll figure it out. And then if we go live, we'll throw it up. But anyway, guys, thank you very much. I'm outro. You guys have a good one. Tomorrow, Gina Carano versus Ronda Rousey. I'll probably go live at some point in time and hang out and watch that. So feel free to come through, hang out with us. as we just kind of watch what happens with that fight. I'm sure it's gonna be a blast. Y'all take it easy. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.